Taking his warm-up tosses, the fifth-year senior coming back from an injury in the fall. He was drafted in 2010 by the Los Angeles Dodgers, elected obviously to come back, and while he's been working back from an injury, he continues his path in his final year. The fifth-year senior for Washington State, the big right-hander, 0-3 with an ERA of 7.36, making his seventh start of the year. All of them appearances on the starting hill, 25 2/3, 29 hits in those 25 2/3, 18 walks, 17 strikeouts, opponents hitting .296 off Chad Arnold. Again, it'll be Gardner Young, Meggs, Lamb, 1, 2, 3, Scott, Anselman, and Santee, 4, 5, 6, and rounding out the Husky order, Peterson, Rogers, Afner. Defensively for Washington State, it'll be Arturopoulos at third, Bartlett at short, Richards at second, Ard at first. Around the infield left to right, Ponciano again behind the plate for Washington State today. Clausen will be in left today, Slaybaugh in center, and Jones over in right. And as we encountered yesterday, we will probably encounter a similar set of dynamics today, and that is the park will play small to right field. That wind has been blowing out steadily out to right. So any ball hit to right center or down the line in right is going to get some extra carry and then some. Both of our home runs in yesterday's game were hit to right field, but both were struck pretty well. I think they would have gotten out of here even if there wasn't any wind. So it'll probably knock a ball down to left and maybe enhance the flight of a ball to right field. Home plate umpire Joe Maiden today. Larry Randall, the first base umpire. Randy Sutton making the calls over at third base. We've got mostly sunny conditions here, and temperatures right around the 50-degree mark, but maybe a little peg or two chillier with that wind, again blowing between 10 and 15 miles per hour. Huskies will play the middle game of this three-game series with a road purple top and purple socks, gray ball pants. Cougars going to go in the crimson tops, crimson socks, and the white ball pants here at Bailey Brayton Field. Brendan Gardner Young to lead things off. 280 average, no home runs, 5 batted in. Gardner Young having himself quite a year in Pac-10 play, a .409 hitter in conference games at 9 of 22. And the first pitch of the afternoon is at the knees for strike one. Chad Arnold, again the redshirt senior, the fifth-year senior, out of Kennewick, Washington, on the first base side of the rubber, ready to go. Into the wide, here comes the 0-1, and that's grounded out to short weakly, collected there by Bartlett on a few hops, squares up and throws out Gardner Young, and there's one down here. We are underway. So the put out 6-3 here in the top of the first, and that brings up left fielder Joe Meggs. Meggs, a big night at the plate last night.
Left fielder number 40, Joe Meggs.
He was 3 for 4, including a couple of doubles, and the only other time he didn't get a hit, he got hit by a pitch. So he was on base all 4 times he came to the plate last night. One down, nobody on, just underway, top of the first. Arnold into the wind, and the pitch on the way, squaring to bunt and taking a pitch low for ball one is Meggs. Meggs, a .330 average on the year, 1 home run, 13 batted in. In Pac-10 play, a bit of a different story, a .286 average on 14 of 49. A ball and no strikes to count. This one's lined up the middle into center field for a base hit. Boy, Meggs' torrid hitting in the first couple of games continues, and the Huskies have the first base runner of the game as Meggs takes it right back up through the box into center field. So Meggs, 4 of his last 5 here in this series,
The second baseman, number
and
18,
continues
Lamb.
as the Husky feared hitter in the top of the lineup. That brings up, speaking of which, Jacob Lamb. Lamb, a .336 average, 2 home runs, 21 batted in. He had an RBI single. It's knocking in one of the 2 Husky runs in last night's 5-2 loss. First pitch on the way to Lamb is a changeup drifting outside, ball 1. Lamb left-hitting second baseman. Meggs the lead at first, 1 on, 1 out. Just underway here in the top of the first from Pullman. Here's the stretch. Arnold hesitates from the belt, and the 1-0 on the way, and that's down low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Again, it's been kind of a tough go for Arnold. He was a draftee of the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2010. Came back for his redshirt senior year, only to fall to injury in the fall, and just kind of used this season to work his way back. Here's the stretch, and a turn and a throw to first, and diving back to the bag easily is Meggs. Huskies will give the ball to Aaron West, the right-handed sophomore, in the bottom of the first. Cougars took game one last night, a final of 5-2. Here's the stretch by Arnold, and the pitch on the way. Swinging a ball chopped foul outside the bag at first. And the count moves to 2 balls, 1 strike. Had a nice crowd last night. Got a good crowd here on a Saturday afternoon. Huskies looking to even Washington State in the win column. Huskies with just 3 Pac-10 victories this year against 10 losses. 2-1 the count to Lamb. Here's the stretch. And the 2-1. And that's upstairs ball 3. And now Lamb ahead 3 balls, 1 strike with Husky cleanup hitter Troy Scott on deck. Lamb in Pac-10 play, a .340 average in conference games. He's 17 of 50 on the year in the Pac-10. Stretch by Arnold. Here comes the 3-1. And that's upstairs ball 4. And similar to what we had yesterday, a 2-on, 1-out situation. The Huskies had 4 of them in the first 4 at-bats in yesterday's game, but could only cash in 1 run. We'll see what happens here with Troy Scott, the Husky cleanup hitter, now standing in. Meggs at second with the single up the middle. Lamb the walk, and now Scott standing in from the left side. The stretch by Arnold, and the pitch to Scott is a breaking ball upstairs for ball 1, and now Arnold having trouble finding the zone. Troy Scott, Husky third baseman, the cleanup hitter, batting .265, 1 home run, 19 batted in. 2 on, 1 out for the Huskies in the very top half of the first here in Pullman. Arnold again from the belt. They'll look to second. Long hesitation. Here's the 1-0. Swinging. This one's lifted to center field and fairly deep, but coasting over his sleigh ball. He's underneath it, and he makes the catch in straightaway center field. A little toward left center. 2 down here in the Husky first. So Scott flies out to center, and that brings up right fielder Chase Anselman.
Now batting the right fielder, number 11, Chase Anselman.
Anselman yesterday with a pretty impressive at-bat against the left-hander in the form of Adam Conley. He one-hopped the wall over the left fielder's head, an opposite field double. This one's chopped outside the bag at first. It'll be collected by Ard. He'll go to the bag himself. Side retired. So a 2-on, 1-out situation, but Arnold gets off the hook. The Huskies can't cash in, and as we go to the bottom of the first after a half frame, Huskies nothing. Cougars coming up.
As you enjoy baseball season, think about the game that is life. Are you in shape financially to play beyond the 5th inning? What would happen if your life went into extra innings? At Edward Jones, we have a lineup of financial solutions to help you through the game of life. Tax advantage investments to increase retirement savings in the case of extra innings. Long-term care insurance to help with some of life's errors. And life insurance to prepare for the final tally.
To learn more, call All Century team member Dwayne Covey at 206-524-0050. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Installing, refinishing, or restoring your hardwood floors? Artisan Hardwood Floors provides the highest quality craftsmanship at the most affordable price. For generations, we've been working hard to earn your trust and exceed your expectations. We're experts in all types of hardwood services and specialize in Swedish finish with a wide range of color and top finishes. Whether it's installation, sanding, refinishing, restoration, or stairwork, call 206-933-1703 or 425-644-9639 or go to artisanhardwoodfloors.com.
Well, the big right-handed sophomore Aaron West taking his warm-up tosses for the Huskies. Westy 1-7 with an ERA of 5.18. The former Snohomish Panther making his 11th start of the year. 57 1/3 innings for West. He's allowed 65 hits, has walked only 13, and has struck out 32. Opponents hitting .307 off Husky right-hander Aaron West. No scores. We go to the bottom of the first. Huskies held off the board in the top half of the frame. Donnie Marbut, the Cougar head coach, will have Cody Bartlett playing shortstop and hitting leadoff. He'll be followed by left fielder Patrick Clausen and right fielder Derek Jones, 1-2-3 to face West here in the first. Taylor Ard will play first in bat cleanup for Washington State, and it'll be Matt Argyropoulos, the third baseman, batting fifth. Jay Ponciano, the catcher, batting sixth. The designated hitter spot will bat seventh. They won't announce a name until that spot actually comes up. So officially, it will be a pinch hitter, whoever takes that DH spot in the seventh, as some college baseball teams like to take advantage of. Colin Slaybaugh, the center fielder, will bat eighth. And then it'll be Tommy Richards batting ninth, the second baseman. Huskies scoreless in the top half of the frame. Cougars going up against Aaron West here in the bottom half of the first. Glad you could join us for Husky baseball here on AM 1150 KKNW. And online via GoHuskies.com. Here's Cody Bartlett, the shortstop, and Aaron West into the line. And the sophomore's first pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 90 miles an hour. Adam West. Boy, that brings back some old memories of the Batman movie and show. Aaron West. An 0-1 count. You'll see him touch in the low 90s. Here's the wind and the 0-1 on the way. And that one on the outside corner, 91 miles an hour. Strike two. Quickly 0-2 the count. Westy, again, not a guy who's going to walk a ton. Just 13 base on balls in 57 and a third innings. He's ahead of Bartlett, the Cougar leadoff hitter, at 0-2. Aaron into the wind. And here comes the 0-2. Slider, awfully close, but missing a little bit outside. Ball one. Defensively for the Huskies, Troy Scott at third. Ty Afner at short. Jacob Lamb at second. Eric Peterson over at first. Left to right around the infield. B.K. Santee is the catcher again. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and foul tip. Just barely got a piece of that one to stay alive. He chased a slider well down and away. So Bartlett avoids a strikeout there. He's a fifth-year senior, is Cody Bartlett. In the outfield defensively for the Huskies, Joe Meggs in left, Brendan Gardner-Young in center, Chase Anselmans over in right. Here's the 1-2 by West, and that one's low and away, and the count evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cougars winning last night, a final of 5-2. Dogs trying to even the 3-game series this afternoon. West in the middle of that rubber. Into the wide, and here come the right-hander's 2-2 pitch on the way, and this one's pop foul up and out of play over our heads at the press box here at Bailey Brayton Field. They've done a number of renovations and improvements. Selfishly, I'll put the priority being the press box. Get my own booth, a heated press box, great vantage point here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Bartlett, the leadoff man. Here's the wind and the pitch on the way. That's lined into center field for a base hit. So Bartlett, who fell behind at 0-2, evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and then smokes it right back up through the middle for a single. That's the 42nd hit of the year for Bartlett. Second on the team to Ard with 43 hits. And here's left fielder Patrick Clausen. Clausen, a .222 average, no home runs, 7 batted in. He's a left-handed hitter. We'll see if they try and move Bartlett over early here in the bottom of the first. West out of the stretch. He'll step off and look Bartlett back to the bag at first. Clausen just 8 of 36 on the year, making just his 8th start of the season. Double play depth up the middle with Afner at short, Lamb at second defensively for the Huskies. Outfield straightaway, fairly deep. Just underway, bottom of the first. Cougars get the leadoff man on with a Bartlett single back up through the middle. Clausen moving that bat around, now ready to go. Here's the stretch by West. And the pitch on the way. Swing and lifted down a left field line. Tailing toward the line. This one is going to land fair. Rounding second, heading into third is Bartlett. They're going to try and wave him all the way in. Here's the relay by Afner. There will not be a throw. And the Cougars are on the board first on a run-scoring double the other way by Clausen, scoring Cody Bartlett. It's Washington State 1 and Washington nothing with nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Just an opposite field double. It was a long run for Meggs, and it landed just inside the line in left, and that scored Bartlett all the way from first. So the Cougars draw first blood, and they've got another in position with Clausen on at second base. That is RBI number 8 on the year for Clausen. And here's right fielder Derek Jones. Cougars out of the gate with a base hit up the middle by Bartlett, and then an opposite field double that scored him easily. Pitch on the way to Jones is in and over for strike 1. Derek Jones, left-handed hitting right fielder. A .272 average, a team-high 7 home runs, and 20 runs batted in. He hit his 7th yesterday. In the 5th, here's the stretch by West, the look to second, and the 0-1. Swing and the ball hit foul out of play, and West quickly ahead of Jones at no balls, 2 strikes. To put it into perspective, the Huskies' struggles offensively this year, the Huskies as a team have 6 home runs. Jones, the hitter for Washington State himself, has 7. 0-2 the count, though, to the right fielder. Here's the pitch on the way by West, and that's a slider in the dirt outside. Off with a mask is Santee, but the base runner Clausen not going anywhere. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Home run yesterday by Jones to right field down the line. And that's where the park will play small again based on the wind and the flags blowing out in that direction. Here's a stretch by West and the pitch on the way. Lined into right field for a base hit. And motoring down to third is Clausen. Anselman in right field gets the ball in quickly, but the Cougars will have runners on the corners. And nobody out here in the bottom of the first. 3 well-struck balls by Bartlett, Clausen, and Jones. And now here's Taylor Ard, the Cougar cleanup hitter. PK Santee out from behind the plate, going to go talk to Aaron West and try and calm down the sophomore out of Snohomish. 1-0 Washington State. First 3 hitters all get on base. A Bartlett single, a Clausen double, and now a Jones single. Runners on the corners, nobody down here in the bottom of the first. Huskies will give up the run if they can get a ground ball double play. Infield is back with the exception of Peterson, who's holding the runner Jones on at first. Ard digging in from the right side. Big hitter here. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's a breaking ball upstairs for ball 1. Ard, a .319 average, 4 home runs, 32 runs batted in, 32 RBIs, lead Washington State, good enough for 5th in the Pac-10. Runners take their leads. Clausen from third, Jones from first. 1 ball, no strike count on cleanup hitter Taylor Ard. Here's West, the Husky right-hander, on the 1-0 pitch, and that's popped up. Shallow right field. Now the wind's going to carry it fairly deep, and this should score the run. Anselman underneath it. Tagging at third is Clausen. He will come in to score, and the Cougs lead it 2-0 on a sacrifice fly. That started out to look like a fairly routine fly ball, but it kept carrying and got out to relatively deep right field. But Ard gets it done, a sacrifice fly, scoring Clausen from third, 1 down, but another Cougar runner in, 2-0 Washington State. As Jones remains at first with 1 down, and that brings up the 5th hitter in the order, Matt Argyropoulos. Argyropoulos also hit a home run in yesterday's game, a 2-run shot the other way to right center. At the time, giving the Cougars the advantage. A pitch on the way, turning a throw to first, and diving underneath the tag is Jones. West in a heap of trouble here, already given up a couple of runs, 2 runs, 3 hits, just in 1/3 of an inning pitched so far. And there is activity, believe it or not, in the Husky bullpen. Here's the stretch by West, and the pitch on the way. And this one is at the knees for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Argyropoulos, another senior on this Washington State team. Huskies looking for a ground ball, see if they can't turn 2 and keep the damage limited to just 2 here in the very bottom of the first. West from the stretch. And the pitch to Argyropoulos, grounded to third by B2. Scott, the third baseman, down to second for 1. Relay by Lamb in time. An inning-ending double play. 5-4-3 around the horn. But the Cougars do get 2. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 man left on. And as we go to the second, it's Washington State 2, Washington nothing.
Hey fans, you already know Round Table Pizza is a great place to take the family. Keep them in mind when it comes to your year-end sports banquets, whether it's t-ball, soccer, or any sport. The Eastside Roundtables can host banquet meetings and parties of all sizes. And of course, you'll always receive the best pizza in town. In Overlake, Woodinville, and Issaquah, there's a Round Table near you.
Hurry into your local Round Table Pizza in Overlake, Woodinville, or Issaquah and ask for your free Husky glass, available while supplies last.
We all need advice sometimes. When it comes to your vision, talk to people who've been there. They'll point you to UW Medicine Eye Institute at Harborview, like Dave Larson, whose glaucoma was caught and treated early, or Monica Lowe, who thanks to refractive surgery can finally see without glasses. People across our region trust their vision to the UW Medicine Eye Institute. UW Medicine Health System. From here, we change the world. Request an appointment and read more stories at uwmedicine.org/stories.
Top of the second from Pullman, Steve Sandmeyer with you. Husky baseball at AM 1150 KKNW and online at GoHuskies.com via the Dog Channel. 2-0 Cougars in front of the Huskies here in Pullman. Washington State getting a couple of runs off 3 hits in the bottom of the first off Aaron West, and they've given their starter Chad Arnold a 2-run cushion. Huskies will send 6, 7, and 8 in the order due up here in the top of the second. Catcher B.K. Santee, followed by first baseman Eric Peterson and DH Spencer Rogers. Another game tomorrow in this 3-game series, another noon first pitch scheduled. Started a little bit afternoon here today. The TV folks in the building. So Santee will dig in and lead things off. 278 average. The Husky catcher boasting. No home runs. 9 batted in. 2-0 Cougars as we start the top half of the second here at Bailey Brayton Field. Arnold into the wind, kicks and deals, and that's chopped foul outside the bag at third. The count goes to 0-1. B.K. Santee, the Husky catcher. Yesterday, a 1-for-3 effort at the plate on the season. The aforementioned 278 average. But in Pac-10 play, hitting .351. He's 13 of 37 in conference games as the pitch is high and inside, and Santee backing away from that one. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Bartlett deep out there at his shortstop position. Here's the 1-1, a slider away, and Santee just kind of waves at it for strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Here's the slider, strike 3, got him looking. 1 down here in the top of the second is Arnold just pulls the string on that breaking ball and caught Santee looking for the first out here in the top of the second. Nice pitch by Arnold, the right-handed fifth-year senior. So that brings up Eric Peterson, the Husky first baseman. Peterson, a .257 average, no home runs, 11 driven in the first pitch missing out of the zone for ball 1. Left-handed hitter. Infield back, outfield straight away, 1 out, nobody on, top of the second. Here's the wind and the 1-0, and that one's on the outside corner. Strike 1, a ball and a strike. Home plate umpire today, Joe Maiden. Larry Randall, the first base umpire. Randy Sutton making the calls as the third base umpire on a Saturday afternoon. Here's the wind by Arnold and the 1-1, and that's upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike the count. Cougars get 2 in the bottom of the first on an RBI double by Patrick Clausen and a sacrifice fly by Taylor Ard that scored Patrick Clausen. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Took something off that, and Peterson could not keep the bat in the zone long enough. 2-2 the count. Arnold, not an overpowering strikeout guy, only 17 strikeouts in 26 innings, but he can get a guy on strikes as the 2-2 pitch hits him in the leg. A tough break there for Arnold. Good break for the Dogs as Peterson on a 2-2 pitch was struck in the leg, and he'll throw the bat aside and head down to first.
The designated hitter, number 26, Spencer Rogers.
So that brings up Spencer Rogers, the Husky DH. Rogers, just a 138 average. He is 12 of 83 on the year, no home runs, and 3 batted in. Left-handed hitting designated hitter today against the right-hander Arnold. Here's a stretch and the pitch on the way. High for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Huskies again in the first inning, getting 2 on, only 1 out, but failing to get a runner across the plate. 1-0 the count, the stretch. Arnold ready to go. Here's the pitch, and that one misses ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Rogers, the freshman. Good opportunity here. A lot of responsibility going on the left-handed bats in this lineup for Washington today, especially with that park playing really small to right. 2-0 the count. See if Rogers gets something he can handle here. Runner takes his lead. Pitch on the way. High ball 3. 3-0 with one down here in the top of the second. And Arnold again flirting with a little trouble. His team gave him 2 in the bottom of the first, but the Cougar right-hander already hit a batter and now is behind 3-0 on the next hitter. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that's inside and almost got a piece of Rogers. And now yet again, the Huskies have 2 on and only 1 down. So Peterson hit by a pitch, and Rogers walked on 4 pitches, and now it looks like Cougar assistant Greg Swenson will head out to the mound and talk to Chad Arnold. Fans, a reminder, play-by-play brought to you in part by the North Lake Tavern, where dog fans have celebrated for 57 years. Also by Mitchell Moving and Storage, dependable quality service since 1952. Also by RWA Electric for all your electrical needs. And Eastside Automotive and Tire, you deserve to work with a champion. Meeting adjourned.
Number 3, Ty Afner.
And Ty Afner will be the hitter, the Husky sophomore shortstop. 2 on, 1 down, top of the second. Afner, the 9th hitter in the Husky order. Peterson at second, Rogers at first. Here's Arnold from the belt. The look back to second, and the pitch on the way to Afner. Upstairs, that's 5 balls in a row. 1-0 the count to Afner. You better believe he's going to have to wait until Arnold finds the strike zone. Runners take their leads. 1-0 the count. Here's the stretch. And the pitch on the way. There's a slider in and over for his first strike in 6 pitches, called by home plate umpire Joe Maiden. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. So now we'll see what Afner can do at the plate, hitting from the right side, a .222 average, no home runs, 12 driven in. Top of the second, 2 on, 1 down for the Dogs here in Pullman. Here's a stretch, Arnold, and the 1-1. And that's another slider, strike 2 called. And now he's ahead at a ball and 2 strikes. Great crowd here at Bailey Brayton Field on a Saturday afternoon. Filtered sunshine and some high clouds here in Pullman today. Here's the stretch. The look to second and the 1-2 on the way. Another slider chopped foul at the plate. 3rd time that Arnold went to the well on that pitch. Those sliders, first 2 for called strikes. This one cut on and chopped foul at the plate. And the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield shading slightly toward right center on Afner, the center fielder Slaybaugh. Here's the stretch by Arnold. And another 1-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball out to first. Ard goes down to second for 1. Bartlett's relay to first to a covering. Arnold is in time. 3-6-1 inning-ending double play. And the Huskies continue to be snake-bitten in the early innings in this series. We go to the bottom of the second. After an inning and a half, it's still the Cougars 2, the Huskies nothing.
Are you thinking that old mower of yours just won't cut it this year? Then call the pros at Aurora Lawnmower. They specialize in small gas engine repair, including tune-ups and blade sharpening. Your mower will look and act like new for a fraction of the cost. They also sell state-of-the-art equipment and new brands like Toro, Snapper, Honda, and Steel. For 40 years of unbeatable value, call 206-783-0200 or drop by. They're just 1.5 blocks north of Green Lake. Aurora Lawnmower, on the cutting edge of technology.
When my roof needed repairs, I didn't know where to turn. With so many roofing companies, how could I choose? Then a friend told me about MCR Roofing. She said they offer top-notch service at an affordable price. They use eco-friendly solutions and provide pressure washing, roof maintenance, gutter cleaning, leak repairs, and skylight installation. She also said they do general remodeling, including kitchens, bathrooms, and additions. I'm glad I chose MCR Roofing. You will be too. Find out more at badroofnomore.com.
Well, we go to the bottom of the second here in Pullman. Cougars in front 2-0. Husky rally thwarted by a double play to end the inning. And as we go to the bottom of the second, Aaron West, the right-hander, will face 6, 7, and 8 in the order. It'll be Jay Ponciano, the catcher, to start things off.
Leading off for the Cougars, the catcher, number 30, Jay Ponciano.
And Washington State, who likes to manipulate the designated hitter. They won't announce who it is. They'll have a pitcher from yesterday in that slot, only to be pinch hit when the DH spot comes up. But I do see Nelbowich in the on-deck circle for Washington State. Here's the pitch on the way to Ponciano, the left-handed hitting catcher, and it's in and over for strike one. 92 miles an hour. Good heat from right-hander Aaron West, the Husky sophomore, who tries to recover after allowing a couple runs in the bottom of the first. Here's the wind in the 0-1 to Ponciano. Swinging a ball hit foul. Look out, up, lined into the stands over the third base dugout. Good atmosphere here in Pullman. Good crowd here at Bailey Brayton Field. All the players up on the front railing, leaning over the front top of the dugout steps here in the rivalry game, the Apple Cup on the baseball diamond. 0-2 the count to Ponciano. Here's the pitch by West, and that's a slider low and away. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Adam Nelbowich will be the DH. He's on deck. Here's the wind and the 1-2 on the way to Ponciano, and that's way outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. West again, brilliant 3 weeks ago on April 9th in Eugene against Oregon in an extra inning victory. He went 9 shutout innings. His team got him runs in the 10th, and he ended up picking up the win. Here's the wind in the 2-2, and that's lifted to left field, tailing again down toward the line. This is going to drop fair. Get all the way to the corner. Rounding first is Ponciano, motoring into second, and it trickles under near the chain link fence. That'll be a ground rule double, but at least a double in the book as Meggs holding his hands over his head on a ball that kind of trickled and got pinned near the corner in foul territory where that chain link fencing is. But again, West finding himself in trouble. A leadoff double by Ponciano here in the second. Kruger's already in front 2-0. And here's Adam Nelbowich, the designated hitter. Officially will be a pinch hitter, but he'll get the hacks from the left side as a DH as long as the Huskies have a right-hander on there, I imagine. So Ponciano, a leadoff double for the Cougars here in the bottom of the second. That's double number 4 on the year for the Cougar backstop. Here's the pitch on the way to Nelbowich, and that's way outside for ball 1. And now after the shortstop going to come in and give West a couple words of encouragement, if not anything else, to discuss their potential to try and get Ponciano napping off the bag at second. Here comes pitching coach Dave Dangler out of the mound. Going to go talk to Husky right-hander Aaron West. Fans, you remember the 1940s. Many of us do not, however, but K.C. Martin Automotive and K.C. Martin Transmissions do. Established in 1948, their goal was and still is to provide you with the latest technology, highest quality, and the most affordable rate, and do it in a minimum amount of time. Thank goodness some things never change. Find out more at kcmartin.com. And reminder, if you're planning a wedding or another special event, you want to make it unforgettable, call Emerald Cove Catering. They've been voted the best caterer by you on King 5 Evening Magazine's 2010 Best of Western Washington, specializing in fresh Northwest cuisine. Let them make your event a success. So turn off the stove and call the Cove. Find out more at emeraldcovecatering.com. Husky pitching coach Dave Dangler back in the first base dugout. And a 1-ball, no-strike count to Adam Nelbowich, the designated hitter, here in the bottom of the second, with Ponciano, the lead off the bag at second after his leadoff double. The stretch by West, the look to second, and the 1-0 to Nelbowich. Swinging a ball hit foul up and out of play over the third base side. Nelbowich, the designated hitter in last night's game. He was 0 for 2 with a run scored before being lifted. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Turning a throw back to second and back standing. Or sliding in, I should say, is Ponciano in plenty of time. Huskies trying to work again out of a jam. Already 2 runs, 4 hits for the Cougars, and we're only here in the bottom of the second, and Ponciano in position with nobody out. Here's a stretch by West, the look to second, and the 1-1. And that one a little bit low. 2 balls, 1 strike the count, 90 miles an hour. Good velocity by West, but getting a lot of the plate on the balls that have been struck. Now he's behind Nelbowich, 2-1. Colin Slaybaugh, the center fielder is in the on-deck circle. West from the belt. Here comes the 2-1, grounded out to second. It'll be Lamb on a couple of hops, and he'll make the play and throw him out. On the play, Ponciano moving down to third. So Nelbowich will get the hero's welcome because he hit it to the right side and moved the runner in to third base just 90 feet away with only one down.
Center fielder, number 20, Colin Slaybaugh.
So here's Colin Slaybaugh, the center fielder. Slaybaugh, 232 average, no home runs, 5 driven in, another left-handed bat, and now the Husky infield will be drawn in with just one down and a runner on third here in the bottom of the second. West, the stretch, and the right-hander's pitch on the way is a slider on the outside corner, strike one. Dogs looking for a ground ball to one of those 4 infielders drawn in, or West himself on the mound. Perhaps a strikeout, a pop-up. Could ill afford to get further behind, even though it's early in a 2-0 game here. Runs have been few and far between for the Dogs this year. Here's the 0-1, and that's on the outside corner. Strike 2 called. Good fastball on the outer half by West, who's quickly ahead of Slaybaugh, 0-2. Center fielder, Brennan Gardner-Young, shading him slightly toward left center. The left-handed hitting Cougar center fielder, Colin Slaybaugh. Here's the stretch, and the 0-2 pitch on the way, very high and outside, ball 1. Slaybaugh, 13 strikeouts in 56 at-bats. The lead at third by Ponciano, 1 down here in the bottom of the second. Again, the Husky infield drawn in. A ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch on the way by West. Swing and a miss, and he got him big out there here in the bottom of the second. 91 miles an hour, and he mows down Slaybaugh. 2 down here, and the infield can move back.
Tommy Richards.
That brings up the 9th hitter in the Cougar order, second baseman Tommy Richards. Big out there by West. He's still not out of the woods yet, but now 2 down on the runner on third, Ponciano for Washington State. Richards, right-handed hitting second baseman, a 237 average. He does have a couple of home runs and 14 batted in on the year. Pitch on the way, breaking ball in and over, strike 1. Richards in last night's game 0 for 3 with a strikeout. 0-1 the count to the junior, the right-handed hitter, here in the bottom of the second. West, the pitch on the way, and that's another breaking ball that misses out of the zone for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cougars hosting the Huskies here on the Apple Cup on the baseball diamond at Bailey Brayton Field in Pullman. Washington State taking game 1 last night 5-2, leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. And a runner on third and 2 down. Here's the Husky right-hander's pitch on the way, and that's at the corner. Strike 2 called. Beautiful breaking ball by West, and he's ahead of Richards at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield back, outfield straight away with 2 out, and the runner on third, Ponciano. West trying to get out of this jam after allowing the leadoff double. Here's the stretch by Aaron. And the 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging this one lifted to right field. Anselman back, but he'll have room and camp underneath it and make the catch in straightaway right field. So nice job by West to wiggle off the hook. He allowed the leadoff double to Ponciano, but he ends up being stranded at third. And as we go to the top of the third, 2 in the book. And it's the Cougars 2, the Huskies nothing.
Hey, Clark, how about a donut?
Thanks, Lewis. Is it vegan?
I'm not sure. These are Dutch donuts from Sri Lanka.
I'll pass.
They're from the Donut of the Month Club. My first purchase with my new Alaska Airlines Visa Signature credit card.
And don't forget about the 25,000 mileage plan bonus miles you got when your Alaska Airlines Visa card was approved.
I know. I've already earned enough for a free trip. And I've got donuts. Is this frosting or fungus?
You know, Lewis, when we add those miles to the miles we've already earned flying Horizon Air, we can redeem them for a round trip from Seattle to Hawaii on Alaska.
Ah, perfect. Unlike these donuts. Maybe I'll go vegan.
Top Hot now has a vegan donut.
Lead on.
I'm proud of you, Lewis.
Hey, if I could get them with a side of bacon, I could really go for this vegan thing.
Earn 25,000 mileage plan bonus miles when you're approved for the Alaska Airlines Visa Signature card. Sign up today at alaskaair.com.
We go to the top of the third here in Pullman. Huskies will send to the top of the order to the plate. It'll be leadoff hitter Brendan Gardner-Young, followed by left fielder Joe Meggs, and second baseman Jacob Lamb. Cougars getting 2 in the bottom of the first, and they lead it 2-0. 2-4-0 for the Cougars, 0-1-0 for the Huskies. And again, a Husky threat taken away by the double play, and that has been a common theme in the early innings of both the game yesterday and today. See if the Huskies can get off the schneid here, going through the order against Arnold the second time around. Brendan Gardner-Young will be the hitter. GY 0 for 1. He grounded to short to start the ball game back in the first. Top of the third, 2-0. Cougars in front. Arnold, the right-handed starter for Washington State, into the line, kicks and deals, and it's fouled straight back against the screen behind the plate. Count moves to 0-1. I mentioned Gardner-Young coming into this game was 9 of 22 for a 409 clip in 8 Pac-10 games previous. Here's the 0-1, swung on and missed, and quickly Gardner-Young in the hole at no balls, 2 strikes. GY, rangy center fielder, hitting from the left side. 0-2, Arnold into the line. Here comes the pitch on the way. Slider swung on and missed, and on 3 pitches, Gardner-Young goes down. Strikeout number 2 for Arnold today. And that brings up Husky left fielder Joe Meggs.
Number 40, Joe Meggs.
Meggs, 4 of his last 5 in this series. He goes 3 for 4. The only time he didn't get a hit last night, he was hit by a pitch. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and chopped foul behind the plate. And then Meggs singled sharply his first time up back in the first. He's 1 for 1 today. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch on the way. Check swing. Did he go? Appeal is made. He did, according to first base umpire Larry Randall. So now Meggs in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes. Meggs now a .346 average on the year entirely. 1 home run, 14 batted in. Here comes the 0-2, and that's upstairs with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Austin Voth scheduled to go tomorrow in the finale for the Huskies. Here's the wind and the 1-2 on the way, and that's a slider taken down low by Meggs. Count evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. We imagine we'll see Camus for Washington State. 2-2 the count. Pitch on the way, and that's fouled straight back against the screen by the Husky left fielder Joe Meggs, staying alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, crowd continues to file in. We're getting a nice turnout here on a Saturday afternoon in Pullman. Great atmosphere for college baseball. 2-2 the count. Here's the wind and the pitch on the way. Swinging a ball chopped out weakly to short. Bartlett going to have to charge it, and will glove it. That's all he can do. That'll be an infield single as Meggs hustles up the line, and another hit for Meggs. This of the infield variety, but he is 5 of his last 6 in this series, including 2 for 2 today. So Meggs, a little dribbler out to short, and he hustles up the line, an infield single with 1 out here in the top of the third, and that brings up Jacob Lamb. Boy, Meggs has lived on base. Again, the only other time he didn't get a hit yesterday was hit by a pitch, so he's reached base 7, make it 6 times in a row as the pitch on the way to Lamb is outside for ball 1. We'll have to go back and see if he didn't reach base his last appearance in the finale against USC last weekend. Of course, the Huskies were rained out in 2 games against Gonzaga earlier this week from Spokane. But Meggs 3 for 4 last night with a hit by pitch. And that's ripped towards center field. Going to be a long run, but underneath it, making the catch is Slaybaugh. That ball lined out to center by Lamb, and there's 2 down here in the Husky third. So that brings up cleanup hitter Troy Scott. Back to first retreats Joe Meggs.
The third baseman, Troy Scott.
Scott, big left-handed hitting third baseman. Meggs on at first, 2 down. He'll lead off the bag. Another throw to first, and Meggs diving back to the bag. 2-0 Cougars. Washington State getting their 2 in the bottom of the first off a run-scoring double and a sacrifice fly. Here's the stretch by Arnold and the pitch to Scott. And that's hit high and foul, up and out of play down the left field line outside the dugout at third. Oh, no! That wind knocked that ball back toward the surface, and the catch is made by Argyropoulos. That ball was going out of play, and that wind had other ideas. Brought it back in, and the catch is made outside the fence in play down the line in third. How about it? Boy, that ball knocked down by that breeze and kept in play, and a foul pop out to end the frame for the Huskies in the top half of the third. Oh, that's what I get for counting my chickens before they hatch. Bottom of the third coming up after for 2.5. Cougars 2, Huskies nothing.
The players on the field today didn't start their careers at the collegiate level. Thanks to their parents and coaches, they learned valuable skills through youth sports programs. The following sponsors encourage you to get your children involved: Network Service Solutions, Petra Mediterranean Grill, RWA Electric, and Aurora Lawnmower.
Husky Sports bring electricity and excitement to the community. However, when it comes to the electrical system in your home or office, the last thing you want is excitement. What you do want is a safe wiring job. That's why more homeowners and businesses rely on RWA Electric. They're your local power, light, and wiring specialists. Whether it's commercial or residential work, new construction, panel changes, generators, or hot tubs, give them a call at 425-870-5732. That's RWA Electric for all your electrical needs.
Bottom of the third from Pullman. Steve Sandmeyer here. The Huskies trail the Cougars 2-0, and it's the top of the Cougar order to face Husky right-handed sophomore Aaron West. Cody Bartlett will be followed by Patrick Clausen and Derek Jones. They're the ones who did the damage against West in the bottom of the first. Bartlett singled and scored. Clausen doubled in a run and scored. Jones singled, and Taylor, the cleanup hitter, hit a sacrifice fly that scored a run. First pitch swinging on the way by Bartlett, and this one is hit foul over down the right field line and landing off that fence around the perimeter here of Bailey Brayton Field. A nice crowd. It just continues to file in, and the stands getting more and more filled with spectators. This one a bunt attempt foul up the third base line by Bartlett. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes. Bartlett tried to bunt his way on, but now West ahead, no balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Cougars. It all came in the bottom of the first, and it all started with this man Bartlett. But he's 0-2 right here. He's 1 for 1 with that aforementioned run scored. West ready to go, right arm dangling to the side, now goes to the glove, into the wide. Here comes the 0-2. Slider, a little bit outside. It misses for ball 1. Good setup pitch there. A ball and 2 strikes now on Bartlett, right-handed hitting shortstop. Here's the wind by West and the 1-2 on the way. Swinging, that one's lined toward left, but coming in is Meggs to make a diving catch. Coming down with the ball, falling forward on the surface out in left. And there's one down. Nice play by Meggs on a low liner to left. And Joe comes up with a play, the Husky left fielder.
Number 11, Patrick Clausen.
Diving forward and securing the out was Meggs, and straightaway left. And with one down here in the bottom of the third, that brings up left fielder Patrick Clausen. Clausen had the big hit in the first. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Little change up there. It took something off it. And Clausen comes up empty-handed. Clausen hitting an opposite field double that landed just inside the line, down the line in left, that scored Bartlett all the way from first. So he's 1 for 1 with that RBI double and a run scored. Here comes the 0-1 on the way to Clausen. Now again, that's lifted to left, but this one will go foul and out of play down the left field line. I'm going to watch this one, make sure it leaves the playing field before calling it. That ball that hit off Scott's bat looked like he was going to leave play for sure and just got pushed back into play for the final out of the Huskies in the top half of the third. 0-2 quickly on Clausen. West, the Husky right-hander, into the wide. Here comes the pitch on the way, and that's a slider low and away, ball 1. So Clausen, limited at bats on the year, 8 of 36 coming in at 222. He moved his average 21 points by virtue of that first inning double, now up to 243. Here's the wind of the 1-2 pitch. Slider grounded to third. Off a diving glove, Troy Scott. That'll be an infield single. Scott doing his best just to get some leather on it. He knocked it down, but that is a clean single all the way in terms of the scoring decision by Clausen. Scott diving to his right, did a good job just to keep it in the infield, but that's all he could do was knock it down, and Clausen is on with the infield single with one out here in the bottom of the third. So that'll bring up Derek Jones, the right fielder, left-handed hitter. Hit a single into right field his first time up. He's 1 for 1. 1 on, 1 out for the Cougars here in the bottom of the third, already leading the Huskies 2-0. That's the 5th hit of the afternoon already for Washington State. Pitch on the way is outside with a fastball, 90 miles an hour. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Derek Jones, left-handed hitting right fielder. He hails from Snohomish. A couple of former teammates here going at one another. West against Jones. Here's the stretch by West and the 1-0. And that one's outside, ball 2. Now Santee wants time, and he will head out. So Jones, a junior in eligibility at Snohomish High School, and West, a sophomore out of Snohomish. A couple of former Panthers on opposite sides of the Apple Cup here. 2 balls, no strikes. West behind Jones, the hitter, left-handed bat. Clausen the lead at first. Bottom of the third with Washington State in front of Washington, 2-0.
We pull up from the other free throw line. David Robinson is amazing. David Robinson.
Here's the stretch. 2-0 the count to Jones, and the pitch on the way, and that one is low, ball 3. And now West flirting with a little trouble here with 1 down in the bottom of the third. 2-5-0 for the Cougs, 0-2-0 for the Huskies. Infield double play depth with Afner and Lamb at short and second, but West behind at 3-0, and he's got to come to the plate. He'll throw to first, and diving back to the bag is Clausen. It has been a very good year for the Pac-10, not for these two teams. Huskies and the Cougars, 9th and 10th in the Pac-10 standings. Here's the stretch in the 3-0. And that one's hit off the end of the bat the other way down the line at third. Scott will field it and will not have a play. Boy, just a pool cue shot off the end of the bat from Jones. Just a little nubber that went down the third base line. It's basically a swinging bunt, but he ends up on it first on the infield single. 2 on, 1 down for the Cougars. That ball ate him up, and he just kind of spun it off the bat about 30 feet down the line at third and easily makes it in. In fact, Troy Scott, the Husky third baseman, just came into barehanded, didn't even have a play. And now the Huskies yet again looking for a ground ball and a potential to turn 2 and get out of the frame. Easier said than done. It's the Cougar cleanup hitter, Taylor Ard. 2 on, 1 down for the Cougs here in the bottom of the third. And again, Aaron West, the Husky right-handed starter, in a bit of a jam. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way. And this one's hit a mile high to short right field. Anselman, the right fielder, coming in. He'll camp underneath it and make the catch. And there are quickly 2 down. Big pitch and a big out there by West to get Ard, who hit it straight up through the elevator shaft, and the wind carried it out to short right field, where Anselman is there to make the play.
Third baseman, number 23, Matt Argyropoulos.
So here's Matt Argyropoulos, the Cougar third baseman. 2 out, 2 on now. Argyropoulos 0 for 1. He grounded into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play back in the first. 2-0 Cougars here in the bottom of the third. West again trying to wiggle off the hook. Here's the stretch. The look to second. And the pitch on the way to Argyropoulos. Breaking ball lifted to center field, tailing away from Gardner Young. Going to make a long run. Won't get to it. Going to get all the way up against the wall. Here comes Clausen rounding third. He will score. They're waving Jones around third, and he will come in. A 2-out, 2-run double by Matt Argyropoulos, and the Cougars now lead it 4-0. That ball hit deep to right center, one hopping the wall. And scoring easily, both Clausen and Jones, who were running on contact with 2 down. And the Cougs get 2 more here in the bottom of the third to lead it 4-0 with 2 down. Nice piece of hitting by Argyropoulos there, going the other way and knocking in 2 runs, again, with 2 down here in the third. That brings up catcher Jay Ponciano. 4-0 Cougs in the early going here in the third. And again, activity in the Husky bullpen. Here's a stretch by West, and the pitch on the way, and that one is low, ball 1. For Argyropoulos, the Cougar third baseman, RBIs number 21 and 22 on the year. Double number 9, and he has the lead off the bag at second. Here's the stretch, the look to second, and the 1-0 on the way. And that's a slider spinning way outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes the count to the left-handed hitting Jay Ponciano. Ponciano 1 for 1. He led off the second with a double, but ultimately was stranded as West got off the hook there. But the same cannot be said here in the third as he allows a 2-out, 2-run double to Argyropoulos. Here's the stretch by the right-hander. The look to second. And the 2-0 on the way. And that's a slider that does find the zone. Strike 1 called. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Good pitch on a 2-0 count to get that slider in and over for a called strike. But the Huskies trail it 4-0 here in the bottom of the third. And obviously have to limit any further damage. Here's the stretch and the 2-1 on the way. And that's high and outside, ball 3. 3-1 the count. Ponciano a .237 average, no home runs, 5 driven in, but he's got the count in his favor at 3-1. West from the stretch. The right-handed sophomore peers to second, kicks and deals, and this one is down low with a slider, ball 4. It is the first walk of the game allowed by West. He has allowed 7 hits in 2 2/3 so far. And now 2 on with 2 down for the Cougars as they try and maintain the rally here in the third. Already 2 in. Designated hitter Adam Nelbowich digging in. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. Neither runner being held. Here's a stretch by West. And the pitch on the way. And that one's grounded to the right side. Lamb will field it cleanly on a couple of hops, and the Husky second baseman will throw him out. But the Cougars get 2 more in on a 2-run double by Matt Argyropoulos. And as we go to the fourth, it's Washington State 4 and Washington nothing.
Everyone wants to be healthy. Your friends at General Nutrition Center in Victoria Mall, Bellevue can help. They offer a wide variety of products for a healthy lifestyle. Whatever your goal is, bring it to GNC in Victoria Mall. Their staff is friendly and knowledgeable and will help you find the right products to suit your budget, your lifestyle, and your healthcare needs. Ask about their membership program and save 20% all year long. That's GNC at Victoria Mall in Bellevue. Proud Husky supporters. Is your family making a retirement living decision? Consider Norse Home Retirement and Assisted Living. Norse Home is a not-for-profit continuing care community on Finney Ridge, serving Seattle with compassionate care for 50 years. Come for their monthly Sunday brunch and discover their quality services, sterling reputation, and fabulous location with a $1 million view. Plus, enjoy free breakfast. Find out more at norsehome.org. Norse Home Retirement and Assisted Living. There's no place like Norse Home.
Well, 2 more for the Cougars in the bottom of the third, and as we head to the fourth, the Dogs in a hole. They trail it 4-0 as the right-handed starter Chad Arnold continues to take his warm-up tosses and now has a 4-run cushion. 4 runs, 7 hits for Washington State. No runs, just 2 hits for Washington. As we go to the top of the fourth, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up in the Husky order. Right fielder Chase Anselman, followed by catcher B.K. Santee, and first baseman Eric Peterson. This is game 2 of a 3-game series. Game 3 will happen tomorrow, also at noon. Pregame at 11:45. But right now, the Huskies with work to do. They dropped last night's game, a final 2, and they are already trailing 4-0 here in the top of the fourth in the middle game of this 3-game set. So Chase Anselman will be the hitter. Anselman, the Husky right fielder, 0 for 1. He grounded out to first. Left-handed hitter, and Arnold, the Cougar right-hander, with a 4-run cushion into the wide of the pitch on the way. A breaking ball a little bit upstairs for ball 1. Huskies losing 2 of 3 at home last weekend to USC. Here's the wind and the 1-0 on the way. And that one's lifted high and deep to right field. Back on the ball is the right fielder, Jones. He will look up, and this one is gone. Chase Anselman, solo home run to right field, and the Dogs are on the board. It's now the Cougars 4 and the Huskies 1. For Anselman, his 3rd home run of the year, RBI number 16. And he took a pitch out to straightaway right up in that jet stream. And the Dogs play long ball to get on the board here in the top of the 4th. So 4-1 now. And that brings up B.K. Santee, the Husky catcher. And pitch upstairs for ball 1. That might be the tonic to get the Dogs well. A little wake-up call off the bat of Chase Anselman, who gets up and out of here to right field, up into that jet stream where that ball is carrying today here in Pullman. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Santee, and that's hitting the outside corner for called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Anselman on the second pitch he sees from Arnold. Squaring to bunt is Santee, and he bunts it foul. Count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. So the Dogs get 1 of them back. That is only the team's 7th home run of the year. Here's the 1-2 on the way, and that one drifts down and away for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It has been that kind of year offensively for the Huskies, but Anselman answers the bell in his second at-bat here in the 4th. The 2-2 to Santee. That's chopped to third outside the bag. Ranging to his left is the third baseman, Argyropoulos, and he'll throw across in time. 1 down here in the Husky half of the 4th. So that brings up first baseman Eric Peterson. Peterson with 1 out, nobody on. He was hit by a pitch last time up in the second.
Eric Peterson.
Pretty easy to tally the Husky home run total. Anselman, with that home run, his 3rd of the year, leads the Huskies with those 3 home runs. Pitch on the way to Peterson is outside for ball 1. DH Spencer Rogers on deck for the Dogs here in the top of the 4th. Here's the 1-0. And that one's hit foul up and out of play over to our left. Count goes to a ball and a strike. Four to 1, Cougars in front. Here in the top of the 4th. Peterson ready to go. Arnold into the wide. Here comes the 1-1. And that's high and outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Kind of an interesting week for both teams. Washington State losing 2 of 3 in Corvallis, taking the final game and avoiding the sweep against Oregon State. Here's the 2-1 on the way, and that's hit foul down the left field line and out of play. Count goes to 2-2. Huskies lost 2 of 3 at home to USC. They also avoided the sweep by taking the finale of the 3 games. And then it was a waiting game for Washington, while Washington State was able to play in the early week. Here's the wind and the 2-2 on the way, and that's high and outside. The count goes full. The Cougars did get 2 games in, a doubleheader, albeit, against BYU 4 days ago. Washington had 2 games scheduled at Gonzaga, both of which rained out earlier this week. So they've had to wait a long time for this weekend to come on the road. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Check swing, taken upstairs for ball 4. Appeal made, but he did not go around, and the Huskies have another runner on with 1 down here in the top of the 4th. That's just a long time to wait
Spencer Rogers.
in any kind of sport. I mean, you're on the road, you get your games in, and then you get back home. Here, the Huskies had those early week games scheduled in Spokane. They head over to Gonzaga. Both games get rained out on both days. Then you got to bus it down here to Pullman and wait another day in between. This one's in the hole between first and second and grounded into right field for a base hit. Spencer Rogers, first pitch he sees, he rifles on the ground through the 4-hole, and the Huskies now will bring the tying run to the plate here in the top of the 4th. So Rogers spanks one into right field, a ground ball single. The Huskies now have 4 hits, and the bat's coming alive here in the 4th with just 1 down and now 2 on, and here comes a visit by Washington State. They're going to go to the mound. Greg Swenson, the assistant, will go talk to Arnold. So the Huskies finally coming alive and making this an interesting set of dynamics in the early going. Again, Arnold, a tough luck story for Washington State. He was drafted by the Dodgers in 2010 and came back for his 5th year as a redshirt senior, injured himself in the fall, and has really just kind of used this year to climb back into things and get ready. Coming into the game, he's 0-3 with an ERA of 7.36. And the Huskies have had a couple opportunities early. They've cashed in here with one in the 4th, and they've got runners on first and second with only one down. And the 9th hitter in the order, Ty Afner, the batter. Same situation for Afner last time up in the bottom of the 2nd. Afner was the hitter with 2 on and 1 out, and he grounded into a 3-6-1 inning-ending double play. He's 0 for 1. Runners take their leads. Peterson from second, Rogers from first, neither of which being held. There's a pitch on the way to Afner, and that one's at the letters for strike 1. Little slider in and over. 0-1 the count to Afner. We're in the top of the 4th. Huskies break through on the solo home run by Chase Anselman. They trail it 4-1. But they've got the tying run to the plate in the form of their shortstop, Ty Afner. Here's the stretch by Arnold. And the 0-1 on the way. And that's another breaking ball. Strike 2 called. And a big sigh and looking skyward. The hitter Afner, the Husky shortstop, now in the hole and no balls, 2 strikes. Arnold ready to go. He's on the first base side of that rubber. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and it's a fastball upstairs, 88 miles an hour. Out of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Boy, After if he could just find a hole somewhere and turn the lineup over and get to the leadoff man, Brendan Gardner-Young, Huskies would be in business. Here's a stretch by Arnold. Runners take their leads. The 1-2 swung on and missed on a slider into the dirt. Strike 3. Big out there by Arnold. That is strikeout number 3 on the afternoon. And now 2 down for the Huskies here in the top of the 4th. So here's Brendan Gardner-Young, the Husky leadoff man, now with 2 on and 2 out. Gardner-Young 0 for 2, grounded to short, struck out swinging. But he has been swinging a hot bat in Pac-10 play. Here's the stretch by Arnold, and the pitch on the way to GY, and that's outside for ball 1. Coming into the game, Brendan Gardner-Young was 9 of 22 in conference at a 4.09 clip. Huskies get a solo shot by Anselman to lead off the 4th. They get a walk by Peterson, a single by Rogers, and now with 2 down, here's the pitch on the way, and that's on the outside corner for strike 1. One ball and 1 strike the count. Again, the runners take their leads. The stretch by Arnold and the pitch on the way to GY. Swinging and a miss on a fastball. Strike 2, a ball and 2 strikes on the Husky center fielder. The white-hot Joe Meggs in the on-deck circle for the Dogs, who is 5 of his last 6, both yesterday and his first 2 at-bats today. A ball and 2 strikes, though, on Gardner-Young. Here's the stretch by Arnold, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Slider outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, GY, if he could find a gap here, you figure that would score both. Both will be running on contact with 2 down. Peterson from second. Rogers the lead off the bag at first. 2-2 to Gardner-Young. The stretch by Arnold. The look to second, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball foul outside the bag at first. Gloved there behind the bag in foul territory by Ard, and the count stays at 2-2. Breezy, sunny, a tad bit chilly here in Pullman, but based on the weather we've played in years past, this is certainly in the upper echelon of the kind of weather we can play baseball in here on the Palouse. Here's the stretch by Arnold, and the 2-2 on the way. Check swing, did he go? He did not. Appeal made. And the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Great at bat by Gardner-Young, who was behind early. It goes full, so the runners will move. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Runners on first and second. Peterson will break from second. Rogers will break from first. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the stretch by Arnold. The look to second and the payoff pitch on the way. Swinging lined up the middle into center field. Rounding third is Peterson. He will come in to score. Motoring into third is Rogers. And the Dogs now are within 2. It's the Cougars 4 and the Huskies 2. Great at bat by GY. Got in the hole And a ball and 2 strikes, worked it full, and then smoked it back up the middle for a run-scoring single. And now Donnie Margaret is all over the home plate umpire, Joe Maiden, for not ringing up GY on that 2-2 pitch. The appeal was made, and it was actually third base umpire Randy Sutton that made the call. I'm not sure why there's a discussion between Maiden, the home plate umpire, in the Cougar dugout, unless it's to back up his umpire mate out there in the field. 2 down and 2 in for the Dogs. Runners on the corners. And here's Joe Meggs, who has been unbelievably hot in this series. Here's the pitch on the way to Meggs, and it's a slider down in the corner for strike 1. Little late call there by Maiden, the home plate umpire. Dogs with 2 in to make a game out of it here in the 4th. Now they trail it just 4-2. Great at bat by Gardner Young, who went full and then rifled it back up the middle for a run-scoring single. 0-1 to Meggs. Here's the pitch on the way, and this one's chopped over on the right side. This one will be an infield single. Rounding in from third and scoring on the play is Rogers, and the Huskies get their 3rd run of the frame. Runner was moving on the pitch, and Gardner Young coming over, and that made the spot vacate by the second baseman, Richards. Meggs hit it to the right side. An infield single on a little hit and run, and coming in to score on the play is Rogers. It's now the Cougars 4 and the Huskies 3. Boy, what a timing in terms of a ball just chopped to the right side. The second baseman, Richards, was covering the bag, and he had to go and turn and round and do a reverse. It could only get to the ball in time to allow the infield single, but easily scoring from third on the play is Peterson, I beg your pardon, and the Huskies now within 1 at 4-3. Here's the pitch on the way to Jacob Lamb. A first pitch missing out of the zone, second one on the way hit foul, up and out of play. That is Meggs' 3rd hit today. He is now 6 of his last 7. Gardner Young at second, Meggs at first. Dogs get 3 here in the 4th, and trail by just 1. Arnold from the belt. And the 1-1 on the way to Lamb, and that's down low. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Runner was moving. Ball just nubbed to the right side. Richards, a second baseman, went to cover, and there was nobody there to field kind of a slow roller behind the mound out towards second base. Rogers coming in to score easily. And Meggs gets an RBI single. He's 3 for 3 today. 2-1 the count now to Lamb with 2 on, still 2 down. Here's the pitch on the way. Low, ball 3 in the dirt. Runner tries to advance to third, and he's thrown out. Boy, Gardner Young tried to take third on a ball in the dirt, and he is gunned down. A bad break for the Dogs there to end the rally, but they do get 3. A solo home run by Chase Anselman, and run-scoring singles by Brendan Gardner Young and Joe Meggs. And as we go to the bottom of the 4th, after 3.5, it's the Cougars 4 and the Huskies 3.
To make it in this league, you need to give 100% of the time. Why would you expect anything less from your auto mechanic? The professionals at Seattle Auto Service Center are the area's leading automotive professionals. They feature ASE certified technicians, trained and certified to perform diagnosis, repair, and service on all systems of your automobile, truck, and SUV. For all your auto repair and maintenance needs, visit them at 6718 Roosevelt Way Northeast, or find out more at SeattleAutoServiceCenter.com.
Are you thinking of painting your home, remodeling your kitchen or bath, installing a new deck? Whatever your ideas, Chaco Canyon Designs can help. We're more than just contractors. We're a group of dedicated craftsmen committed to providing you with the highest value in construction and remodeling. Whether it's paint, decks, kitchens, bathrooms, or specialty finishing, call 360-474-7131 or see our work at ChacoCanyonDesigns.com. Chaco Canyon, a good contractor builds the job. A great contractor builds relationships.
Well, as we go to the bottom of the 4th, the Huskies will send right-handed freshman Jeff Brigham on the mound at a Federal Way. 4-3, Huskies make a game out of it. They were down 4-0, but got 3 in the top of the 4th, and Brigham will take over for Aaron West. The Husky closer, but also has started 4 games this year. 3-0 with a 2.81 ERA. In 41 2/3, Brigham has allowed just 37 hits, has walked only 11, and is fanned at 26. Opponents hitting at 253 off Jeff Brigham. So the Dogs get back into this game, now trailing just 4-3. And Brigham will face 8, 9, and 1 due up in the Cougar order. It'll be center fielder Colin Slabaugh, followed by second baseman Tommy Richards, and shortstop Cody Bartlett at the top of the order. It started with an Anselman home run in the top of the fourth, and then the Dogs rally, a 2-out rally, on a run-scoring single by Spencer Rogers, and then a run-scoring infield single on a hit-and-run by Joe Meggs.
Fielder number 28, Colin Slabaugh.
So the book closed on Aaron West, the Husky starter, still the pitcher of record, trailing 4-3. He goes 3 innings, allows 7 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And here's Slabaugh, the first batter to face Husky right-hander Jeff Brigham out of the bullpen. Takes a fastball at 91 miles an hour outside for ball 1. New life in that Husky dugout on the first base side. Here's the wind and the 1-0 on the way, and that drifts outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Brigham has been awfully effective in his freshman year for the Dogs. 7 shutout innings in the win against Seattle U back on April 19th. Here's the 2-0, and that one is swung on and missed. Also got a save by pitching a perfect 10th inning back on April 9th in Eugene against Oregon. Here's the wind and the 2-0 on the way by Brigham. That's lined into left field for a base hit. A little opposite field number that time by Slabaugh, who greets Brigham into this game with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 4th.
The second baseman, Tommy Richards.
So here's Tommy Richards. Richards, the 9th hitter in the Cougar order, is 0 for 1 with a fly out to right. And now Brigham out of the stretch. Slabaugh, the runner at first, from the belt, and the right-hander comes to the plate with a slider inside and almost got a piece of Richards. He'll spin away for ball 1. Cougars 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Huskies 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the stretch by Brigham. And the right-hander is 1-0. Swing and a miss on a slider in the dirt. Good action on that pitch. And Richards went fishing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the cloud cover taking away our sunshine for the moment. That wind continues to blow out to right. Slabaugh, who had the opposite field leadoff single, leading off the bag at first.
Didn't miss me that much.
1-1 the count. Here's the stretch. And another turn and a throw to first, and underneath the bag, or tag rather, is Slabaugh getting back to the bag. Huskies hoping for a double play up the middle there with Afner and Lamb back near the bag defensively with 1 on, nobody out here in the 4th. Here's the stretch by Brigham. Another turn and a throw to first, and again diving back to the bag is Slabaugh. All of a sudden that base runner becomes much more important in a 1-run game here as the Huskies trail 4-0 after 3, but get 3 in the top half of the 4th to make it a 1-run game. Now in the bottom of the 4th, 1 on, nobody out for the Cougars, and a 1-1 count to the 9th hitter, Tommy Richards. Here's Brigham, the Husky right-handed freshman from the belt. Hesitates, again a turn and a throw to first, and again diving back to the bag is Slabaugh. Crowd starting to get a little restless here in Pullman. One ball and 1 strike. Here's the stretch. Runner goes. Pitch on the way. Chop to third. Backhanded by Scott. His only play will be across. Throws high, but coming down on the bag is the first baseman Peterson to make the play. A little hit and run kept Washington State out of the double play. Scott's only play from third to first threw high, but Peterson leaping, coming down on the bag to beat Richards, hustling up the line. 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th.
Shortstop, number 2, Cody Bartlett.
So that turns the Cougar lineup over. Here's Cody Bartlett. Bartlett 1 for 2, singled and scored in the first, and lined out in the 3rd on a great diving catch by Husky left fielder Joe Meggs. So the runner on second now, 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Brigham ready to go from the stretch. Bartlett, the right-handed leadoff man, digging in. Pitch on the way is a slider, low and away. Ball 1. Field turf surface here entirely in Pullman other than the pitching mound. Even the home plate area. Runner off the bag at second. Slaybaugh takes his secondary lead. Here's a stretch by Brigham. And the 1-0. Slider right at the knees. Beautiful break on that late breaking action, called strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. We're getting the sunshine back here in Pullman. High wispy clouds moving through. Got a little chilly toward the end of last night's game. A ball and a strike the count on Bartlett. Here's the stretch and the pitch, and that's a slider way outside. Good stop by Santee to the opposite batter's box to keep it in front. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Of course, this has been the coldest spring on record since 1891. That's what the meteorologists say. 2-1 the count. Here's the stretch by Brigham. And the 2-1. And that's chopped high behind the mound. Going to have to be fielded by Lamb. On the run, makes the throw in time. Nice play. 2 down here in the 4th. Down to 3rd goes Slaybaugh on the play on a bounding ball behind the mound that went really high off that field turf surface, and Lamb had to wait for it to come down, play it on a hop behind the mound, collect it, and make the throw on the run. But the Huskies second baseman gets it done, and there are 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. So Slaybaugh moving down to 3rd, but now with 2 down, the infield moves back, and here's Patrick Clausen, the left fielder, who's had a nice day at the plate already. He's 2 for 2 with a run-scoring double and a single, and 2 runs scored. Pitch on the way, and that's ripped to first. Off the glove of Peterson, who tried to make the dive, won't get it, and in from 3rd to score comes Slaybaugh. That will be the 3rd hit of the afternoon for Clausen. This a run-scoring single on a ball smoked behind the bag at first, and the Cougars get one back. It's now 5-3 in favor of Washington State. Good effort by Peterson just to dive and try and knock that one down. That was smoked outside the bag at first, and Clausen is now 3 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. And he stands at first already. A huge game here in the bottom of the 4th. Cougs back in front 5-3 over the Dogs. And here's Derek Jones, the right fielder. Here's the stretch by Brigham. A turn and a throw to first, and diving back to the bag is Clausen. Clausen has been murder on the Huskies today. Run-scoring double in the 1st. He came around to score. He singled and scored in the 3rd, and he singled in another run here in the bottom of the 4th. 5-3, Washington State. Here's a stretch by Brigham. And the pitch on the way. And that one's a little bit outside. Ball 1. Wind starting to kick up here. Again, blowing toward the line in right. All the Pac-10 flags beyond the wall in right field here at Bailey Brayton Field. And they are also looking to get this baseball game to one of those contests where you can stack the left-handed hitters in the order and see if you can't buggy whip a ball to the corner and right. It worked for Anselman on that home run ball. Washington State going to right field and right center respectively for their 2 home runs yesterday, as the pitch on the way misses outside to Jones. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Left-handed hitter Derek Jones. Here's the pitch on the way, and that one's hit up and out of play, foul. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Good velocity by Brigham. 91 miles an hour.
We talked about it when we said school kicking out. I'm fine.
5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Cougars. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Huskies. And the runner at first, Clausen, takes the lead. Brigham 2-1, just 2 down here. Got to get that final out and get back to the bats. Huskies scored 3 in the top half of the 4th. Here's the stretch. And the 2-1 on the way. And that's outside, ball 3. Tough break there. Who has fallen behind. 3 balls and 1 strike to the count.
And we won't charge red as much as we do.
3-1. Again, a long stretch by Brigham. Play really slowing down here. Here's the stretch. The look to first. The runner goes. 3-1 swung on and missed. Strike two. Throw down to second base, and it is not in time. Stolen base. And now the Cougars with a runner in position with a count full at 3-2. Clausen has been everywhere today, and for Clausen, that is stolen base number 2 in as many attempts on the season. And now the Cougars with a runner in position with 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. See what Brigham dials up here as the wind kicks up again here in Pullman. The stretch. Runner takes his lead. Payoff pitch. Swinging line to right field. Anselman back will take a chance. All the way up against the wall. Clausen will round third and score easily. The throw to second. Diving in safely with a 2-out double is Jones. And the Cougars now lead it 6-3. So the Huskies got 3 in the 4th, but the Cougars respond with 2 of their own in the bottom half of the frame. And now they've got a 3-run cushion at 6-3. A 2-out ringing double to right on a full count offering by Derek Jones, and that scored Patrick Clausen with ease from second base, running on contact with 2 down. So, as rudely as the Cougars greeted Aaron West with 2 in the bottom of the 1st, they are doing to Jeff Brigham out of the bullpen in his first inning of work here in the bottom of the 4th. 6-3 Washington State. And now on at second base is Jones after the RBI double. Here's Taylor Ard, the cleanup hitter. Brigham from the belt looks back to second, kicks and deals, and that's a slider way outside for ball 1. 6 runs, 10 hits now for the Cougars. Huskies 3 runs, 6 hits. And Ard, the count in his favor, at a ball and no strikes. Brigham, the pitch on the way. Swinging, that's lined into left field for a base hit. Up with the ball is Meggs. Rounding third is Jones. The throw to the plate is not in time. And the Cougars get the 3 runs back and now lead it 7-3. Ard, a sharp single to left, and that scores Jones from second. As again, another run here with 2 down, and so much for the Husky 3 spot at the top of the 4th. The Cougars respond with 3 of their own here in the bottom of the 4th, and they lead it in what's turning into an early shootout, 7-3. The 11th hit of the game for Washington State. Still 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. So the run-scoring single by Ard, scoring Jones, and here comes Matt Argyropoulos. Pitch on the way to the Cougar third baseman. Instead is a step off by Brigham. Cougars 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 3 more here in the 4th, and they lead it 7-3. Here's the stretch by Brigham, and the pitch on the way, and that's a slider a little bit low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. This has been a tough inning for Jeff Brigham, who came in with outstanding numbers. Has had a brilliant season in his freshman year, but he's getting treated rather rudely here by the homestanding Cougars here in his first Apple Cup. A ball and no strikes the count to Argyropoulos. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way. Another slider. Hits a right center field and deep. Gardner Young back on the ball in front of the track in right center. Makes the catch. The long fly outside retired, but not before the Cougars respond with 3 of their own here in the bottom of the 4th. And as we go to the 5th, 4 in the books. It's the Cougars 7 and the Huskies 3.
Pioneer Radio and Sports would like to thank the following businesses who are committed to customer service.
Today's Husky broadcast is brought to you in part by C&G Roof Care Services, where quality is not an accident. By Norse Home Retirement and Assisted Living. There is no place like Norse Home. And by Petra Mediterranean Bistro, for an authentic taste of the Mediterranean right here at home.
Petra Mediterranean Bistro invites you to enjoy the ultimate in Mediterranean dining and cuisine. Our mission is to offer our guests an exquisite dining experience with an extensive variety of appetizers, authentic dishes, and our house-made specialties. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or dessert, come discover the authentic tastes of Jordan, Lebanon, Greece, Turkey, and Northern Africa right here in Seattle at 2501 4th Avenue. For reservations or catering information, call 206-728-5389 or see us at petrabistro.com.
Tough road to hoe for the Husky baseball team as we go to the top of the fifth. Washington trailing 4-0, got 3 in the top of the fourth to make it a 4-3 deficit. But the Cougars responded with 3 in the bottom of the fourth to boost the cushion back up to a 4-run spread, and they lead it 7-3 as we go to the fifth. Steve Sandmeyer with you here on AM 1150 KKNW and also online at GoHuskies.com. Huskies will have Jacob Lamb, Troy Scott, and Chase Anselman. Heart of the order, 3-4-5 due up against Chad Arnold. Brendan Gardner-Young was gunned down on a ball that got away from the catcher, Jay Ponciano, to end the fourth. That was after the Huskies got 3 off Chad Arnold. We'll see what comes out of the wash here. Arnold will come out for the top of the fifth. There was bullpen activity as Richie Ochoa, the left-hander, was warming up last frame. First pitch on the way to Lamb is a called strike. 0-1 the count to Jacob. Jacob 0-for-1 with a walk and a line out to center. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. A slider spinning outside. Count evens 1 ball, 1 strike. Cougars 7 runs, 11 hits. Huskies 3 runs, 6 hits, and we're only in the top of the fifth. Here comes the 1-1 by Arnold, and that's ripped to left field and deep, but the park should hold it. Back on the ball is the left fielder, Clausen, and he'll make the catch in front of the track. 1 down. So that brings up Troy Scott.
The third baseman, number 32, Troy Scott.
Scott 0-for-2, fly out to center, and a pop foul to third. As Arnold tries to get through the fifth inning here and become the pitcher of record with a 7-3 lead as the first pitch on the way misses down low for ball 1. Huskies 3 in the top of the fourth. Cougars 3 in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the 1-0 on the way to Scott, and that's hit high and deep to left field. Again, there's going to be a long run for Clausen toward the line, in the corner, makes the running catch, and there are 2 down. Nice play by Clausen as Scott goes the other way into the teeth of that wind, down the line and left. It knocked it down, and it was a long run for Clausen, but he made the play in the corner near the 3:30 marker. And with 2 down and nobody on here in the top of the fifth, that brings up Husky right fielder Chase Anselman. Anselman started the rally last inning in the fourth, a solo home run to lead it off. His 3rd of the year. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's a fastball inside and low, ball 1. Anselman 1-for-2 with that solo home run last time up. Arnold, the right-hander, ready to go into the wind, kicks and deals, and that's outside and a little bit upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes on Anselman. There's activity in both bullpens. Actually, the Husky bullpen just stirring for the moment. Here's the 2-0. And Ochoa has been warming up in the Cougar bullpen for a little over an inning now as the pitch misses down low for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on Anselman. With 2 down here in the top of the fifth as Arnold falls behind. We'll see if Chase gets a green light or is taking all the way. I imagine taking down by 4 he will, and will take a strike across the letters. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. See if Chase gets something he can handle here. 3 balls, 1 strike the count. Here's the wind and the pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball outside the bag at first, taken by Art himself. He'll go to the bag. Side retired. A 1-2-3 story for the Huskies here at the top of the fifth. We go to the bottom of the frame after 4.5. It's the Cougars 7, the Huskies 3.
Have you heard the saying, we don't do windows? Well, at Charlie's Window Cleaning, we do what you don't want to do. Windows. Inside and outside, we're your clear choice for quality residential and commercial window cleaning, roof and gutter cleaning, and pressure washing. In fact, our highest priority is providing you with sparkling customer service. Find us online at charlieswindowcleaning.com and look for our ad in the home mag.
Want to get organized? Want more space? Then contact E&J Cabinets and make the most of your space with a Murphy wall bed. Today's wall beds are durable, sleek, reliable, and built for comfort while maximizing the space in your room. You can also save money with our pre-drilled, pre-finished, ready-to-assemble, do-it-yourself bed kit. For all your custom cabinets and Murphy wall beds, call 206-375-3211 or compare our prices at murphybedseattle.com. Mention the Huskies for $100 off the installation of a Murphy wall bed.
Well, Jeff Brigham taking his warm-up tosses in the bottom of the fifth. He was treated rather harshly by the Cougars in the fourth as he allowed 3 runs. 7-3 the score. Cougars in front of the Huskies here in the bottom of the fifth. Play-by-play brought to you in part by Seattle Auto Service Center, your complete auto repair and service specialists. By Round Table Pizza. Ask about their limited number of Husky glasses available in Overlake, Woodinville, and Issaquah. By Quorum Laurelhurst, serving Seattle's finest neighborhoods. And by Artesian Hardwood Floors. We work hard to earn your trust because we value our reputation. Bottom of the fifth, Ponciano the catcher, Nelbowich the DH, and Slaybaugh the center fielder. 6, 7, and 8 due up in the Cougar order against right-hander Jeff Brigham. 7-3 Cougs here in the bottom of the fifth. Washington State taking game 1 yesterday by a final of 5-2. Here's the wind, and the first pitch on the way to Ponciano is hit foul up and out of play over the third base side. Brigham again 7 shutout innings for the win on April 19th against Seattle U. A no decision 5 days earlier, or I should say a week earlier, as he went 4 1/3 and didn't give up a run against Seattle U. Before that, a save on April 9th in that 10-inning game against Oregon, as the 0-1 pitch on the way misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And then you go back to non-conference play before that. Here's the wind and the 1-1. And that one misses down and away, ball 2. He got a no decision despite a great start against Nevada in late March. 8 1/3 allowed 3 earned runs to not walk a batter. He's behind 2-1 to Ponciano here to lead off the bottom of the fifth. The wind and the pitch, and that's upstairs, ball 3. 3-1 to Ponciano. The Cougar catcher, 1 for 1. He doubled and walked. Left-handed hitting backstop for Washington State. Husky right-hander Jeff Brigham into the wide. Here comes the 3-1, and that one's upstairs, ball 4. And the Cougs with another base runner. Ponciano has reached base all 3 times up today. And a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the fifth.
The designated hitter, number 37, Adam Nelbowich.
Here's Adam Nelbowich, the DH. Nelbowich 0 for 2, a couple of groundouts to Husky second baseman Jacob Lamb. B.K. Santee, the Husky catcher, out from behind the plate. He's going to head out of the mound and talk to his starter. Fans, a reminder, if you want to go to a place where Husky fans celebrate for 57 years, it's been the North Lake Tavern. Where else can you find all your favorite beverages, pizza by the pound, and an enthusiastic group of staff and friends waiting to celebrate the next Husky victory? Stop by tonight, North Lake Tavern Pizza, located at the north end of Lake Union. Remember, 21 and older for inside dining. Play restored by home plate umpire Joe Maiden. We're ready to go. Ponciano the leadoff walk. Brigham out of the stretch. And a pitch on the way to Nelbowich is fouled straight back. 0-1 the count. Nelbowich just a 154 average for Washington State. No home runs, 4 batted in. On what's turning out to be a mostly sunny but breezy day here on the Palouse. 0-1 the count. Ponciano, who led the inning off with a walk, off the bag at first. Brigham from the belt. The hesitation and the 0-1. And that's a slider a little bit outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, with Washington and Washington State, you get a ton of in-state kids against one another. Everyone knows one another personally for the most part, whether it's AAU ball, teammates, and opponents in the off-season of their high school careers. Here's the stretch of the 1-1, and that one is outside for ball 2. A lot of kids from the western side of the state playing here in Pullman. Nelbowich, not one of them. He's actually a Canadian from Stony Plain, Alberta. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's hit high in foul territory behind the bag at third. Scott in foul territory is there, and he makes the catch just outside the bag in foul territory. One down here in the bottom of the fifth. So a pop foul to third by Nelbowich, and that brings up Cougar center fielder Colin Slaybaugh.
Center fielder number 28, Colin Slaybaugh.
Slaybaugh, freshman out of Puyallup, Emerald Ridge High School. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Singled and scored last time up in the fourth. Also struck out swinging. Left-handed hitter. 1 out, 1 on here in the bottom of the fifth for Washington State. And the Husky right-hander Jeff Brigham, the pitch on the way, down and outside. Squaring to bunt for a moment, but taking the bat away was Slaybaugh. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Runner at first, Ponciano, being held by Eric Peterson, the Husky first baseman. Now Brigham out of the stretch, goes to the glove, now brings it to the belt. Turning a throw to first and diving back to the bag is Ponciano. 7-11-0 for the Cougars. 3-6-0 for the Huskies.
Your chapters stay there. We won't charge you guys anything for very little.
1 ball, no strikes the count. Brigham will get the signals from Santee, now go to the glove. The peer over the shoulder to first, and the 1-0 on the way is a pitch out, but Ponciano not going anywhere, and the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Ponciano, the catcher, not a threat to go. He is 0 for 1 in terms of stolen base attempts, but Huskies sensing perhaps a hit and run. Some sort of trickery out of the Cougars, who like to move the game, especially when they're on. Here's the 2-0, swing and a miss. Nice pitch that time by Brigham. 90 miles an hour with some movement there. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike the count. So tomorrow it'll be a noon first pitch, pregame at 11:45. Runner at first. 1 down here in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the stretch, another turn and a throw to first, and diving back to the bag is Ponciano. Huskies really seized momentum in this game in the fourth. They were trailing 4-0. They get 3 in the top half of the fourth to make it a 4-3 game, only to see the momentum shift back to Washington State just as soon, because the Cougars got 3 in the bottom of the fourth, and that's the margin by which they lead now, 7-3 here in the bottom of the fifth. Pitch is swung on and hit high and foul and out of play over the third base dugout. So the count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the fifth. Huskies 3-10 in the Pac-10. Cougars 4-12 in conference. It has been a grinder of a conference year. The Pac-10, 5 teams ranked in the Baseball America poll. Oregon State at 3, Arizona State at 8, Cal at 20, Stanford at 21, UCLA at 24. Been a very tough year in the Pac-10. Here's the stretch by Brigham and the 2-2. Swinging a ball, chopped foul of the plate, right off the foot of Slaybaugh. In fact, the Pac-10 and the ACC are tied for the most ranked teams of any conference with 5 apiece. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count on Slaybaugh. 1 out, 1 on for the Cougars here in the bottom of the fifth. 7-3 Washington State. Brigham will go to the stretch yet again. Peer over that left shoulder of his and turn and throw to first, and again Ponciano diving back. Huskies really slowing the game down, and they have double-barreled action in their bullpen. It's a little partition that hides our view from the Washington State bullpen. But Ochoa was throwing earlier in the outing by Arnold. Here's the stretch, and the 2-2. Swinging a ball again, chopped foul off the leg of Slaybaugh twice in a row. Still taking the warm-up cuts just outside the batter's box, trying to kick some of the pain out of his feet after fouling a couple off his shoe and his shin. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Ponciano on at first, 1 down, bottom of the fifth. Again, Brigham from the stretch. The hesitation, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. Slider outside, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And now we'll see if Ponciano decides to take off with only 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Outfield straight away, infield back with the exception of Peterson holding on the runner. 3-2 count. Here's the stretch by Brigham. And the payoff pitch, runner does go outside, ball 4. It matters not. And the Cougars with another rally. 2 on, only 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And that brings up the 9th hitter in the order, second baseman Tommy Richards.
Number 6, Tommy Richards.
Double-barreled action in the Husky bullpen. And again, Brigham may not be long for this game after allowing 3 in the bottom of the 4th. And now allowing 2 on here with only 1 out, both via the base on balls here in the bottom of the 5th. Dogs desperately need a ground ball, see if they can't turn 2 and get out of this jam. Already down 7-3. Here's the pitch on the way. Slider on the inside corner, strike 1. Richards 0 for 2, the fly out and a ground out. He's a right-handed hitting second baseman. One of the few Oregonians on this Washington State roster. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss. And the count quickly goes to no balls, 2 strikes. A native of Bend, Oregon. He's a diminutive 5'10" junior. He's in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. Brigham trying to get out of it here in the bottom of the 5th. Ball behind his backside now goes to the stretch. And the 0-2 pitch on the way misses high for ball 1. A lot of activity in and around the Washington State University campus. Concert last night with everyone's favorite, Ludacris. A lot of alumni events, different organizations around campus, both fraternities and sororities here. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed on a slider inside, strike 3. And there are 2 down. Big out there for Brigham. And that turns the Cougar lineup over. Here comes the shortstop, Cody Bartlett.
Shortstop number 2, Cody Bartlett.
Scores around the Pac-10. Oregon in front of California, 4-0. That ball game in the bottom of the 3rd. Outside of that, we are not yet underway with Oregon State, UCLA starting at 2, USC at Arizona at 6, and Stanford at Arizona State also starting at 6 o'clock tonight. So here's Bartlett, 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th, and the pitch on the way by Brigham hits him right in the hip, and the bases are loaded. So it has not been a sharp outing for freshman Jeff Brigham, who has loaded the bases on 2 walks and a hit batter. And now it's the hottest hitter on the Cougar baseball team, at least for today, Patrick Clausen. Coming to the plate, 3 for 3. 2 singles, a double, 2 runs batted in, and a stolen base, 3 runs scored. That's all he's done in the first 4 innings of this game, and now he's hitting here in the bottom of the 5th. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch on the way, and that one's lifted high and deep to right field. The park should hold it. Anselman back. It's going to get over his head and all the way to the wall, which might get all of them in. Ponciano easily from 3rd. Here comes Slabaugh from 2nd. And incoming is Bartlett as well, and sliding into 3rd with a bases clearing triple is Patrick Clausen, and the game is blown wide open here in the bottom of the 5th. It's now the Cougars 10 and the Huskies 3. A 3-run triple for Clausen, and he is having an unbelievable day at the plate. 4 for 4, a double, 2 singles, a triple, 5 runs batted in, and 3 runs scored. 10-3 Washington State. So Clausen down at 3rd with a bases-loaded triple here in the bottom of the 5th. And here's the hitter, Derek Jones, the right fielder. Pitch on the way, and that one is a slider for a strike. That ball hit to right field. Anselman kept going back. It carried in that wind. He couldn't get to it as it was over his head and bounces up against the wall. And with 2 down, everyone running on contact and all 3 runners scoring on the play. Here's the pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball, base hit into center. Of course, luck would have it, another one coming in. As trotting in from third is Clausen. It's now 11-3 Washington State. Clausen to get the hero's welcome in the dugout. He is having a massive day with the bat, and then the Cougars turning this one into a laugher in the middle innings. 4 more coming here in the bottom of the 5th as they are pouring it on here now. 11-3. That's the 13th hit of the afternoon for Washington State, as Jones has an equally big day at the plate. He is 4 for 4 with 3 singles, a double, and 2 runs batted in addition to 2 runs scored. And Lindsey Meggs has seen enough. He's going to head out to the mound, and I believe he will make the change. No official signal yet. He'll probably wait until home plate umpire Joe Maiden comes out, but he's had double-barreled action in the Husky bullpen. And we'll wait and see here. 11 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Cougars. 3-6-0 for the Dogs, as the Washington State fans here at Bailey Brayton Field are loving it. This is a battle of the 9th and the 10th place teams in the conference. And right now the Cougars, after a 5-2 win in Game 1 last night, sitting pretty at 11-3 here with 2 out in the bottom of the 5th, and they will make the pitching change. And while the Huskies make the change, 2 out, 1 on, 11-3 Washington State here in the bottom of the 5th. The change being made, and we will take this 2-minute timeout.
Don't just change the face of your landscape. Unlock its potential with Cedar Ridge Materials. From small 1-yard loads to massive excavation and retaining wall projects, Cedar Ridge Materials offers a diverse variety of services that will help transform the vision of your yard into reality. Whether it's topsoil, bark, sand, gravel, or excavating, land clearing, or trench digging, find Cedar Ridge Materials in your Yellow Pages or online at cedarridgematerialsinc.com. Cedar Ridge Materials.
When your home is your castle, your landscape needs Castle Walls. Castle Walls is a landscape design and build company with over a decade of experience. We specialize in retaining walls, modular block walls, pedestal pavers, interlocking pavers, synthetic grass, outdoor kitchens and fireplaces, and a full line of residential and commercial landscaping services. We're a can-do company ready to make your landscape dreams come true. See our work at castlewallsllc.com. Castle Walls, construction for a lifetime. If you're considering buying a new, pre-owned, or factory-ordered vehicle, consider Chaplin's North Bend Chevrolet. Why? At Chaplin's, we're committed to providing the highest level of service for our customers, being the best without compromise while giving back to our community. We're just what you'd expect from a hometown dealer. Learn our story and browse our inventory online at ChevyOutlet.com or visit us at 106 Main Avenue North. Chaplin's North Bend Chevrolet, inviting your family to be a part of ours.
Hopkins Nursery is closing its doors. Hi, I'm Alan, the manager at Hopkins Nursery. We've served our community for 5 generations, and sadly, we must now say goodbye. We are located in Bothell, where we've been for decades, just south of 522 and close to 405. The Hopkins name will continue, however, with our high-quality lawn and garden care services. The family at Hopkins Nursery appreciates your business all these years and says, go Dogs.
Stop by Hopkins through the end of May to reminisce and find great values on inventory at must-sell prices.
All right-handed freshman Jeff Gonzalez getting his first action in the Apple Cup rivalry here in Pullman. The freshman out of Bellevue, Washington, taking his warm-up tosses as the Huskies chase reliever Jeff Brigham, or the Cougars chase Husky reliever Jeff Brigham here in the bottom of the 5th with 4 runs. The big hit, a bases-clearing triple by left fielder Patrick Clausen. 11-3 Washington State with 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. The numbers on Gonzalez: no wins, no losses, with an ERA of 5.06. Gonzalez only making his 5th appearance of the year. In 5 1/3 has allowed 2 hits, has walked 3 and has fanned 7. Opponents hitting 118 off Gonzalez. I beg your pardon. He's wearing this is a really interesting set of circumstances here because Gonzalez came into the game, goes into the dugout, and now he's wearing 31. That looks like Austin Vogt's number. Gonzalez was brought into the game, and now it looks like he's wearing Austin Vogt's number 31.
Attention, the pitcher is number 31.
So evidently, certainly in a festive mood here in Pullman, as this one getting away from Washington in a big way. It looked like they would make a game out of it, trailing 4-0, scoring 3 in the top of the fourth to make it a 4-3 deficit, but then the Cougars get 3 in the bottom of the fourth to make it 7-3. 4 more here in the bottom of the fifth to make it 11-3, and they've got 2 on and 2 out for Argyropoulos. Here's the pitch on the way. That one's at the letters for strike 1, and Gonzalez on his 5th pitch finds the zone. Argyropoulos 1 for 3. He's got a 2-run double back in the third. Also grounded into a double play and a fly out to center on his resume today. Gonzalez the stretch in the 0-1. And that's another breaking ball in and over. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Argyropoulos digging in from the right side. Gonzalez ready to go. The stretch in the 0-2 pitch hit foul up and out of play. 13 hits for the Cougars already in just 4 2/3 innings. Husky pitching staff getting battered. West gave up 7 hits and 4 runs in 3 innings. These 2 runners still the responsibility, I should say one of the 2 runners still the responsibility of Brigham. That would be the runner at second in Jones. Ard is Gonzalez's. Here's the 0-2, and that hit him on an 0-2 pitch. It hit Argyropoulos, and the bases are loaded. So move Jones to third, Ard down to second, and Argyropoulos on at first as he's hit by a pitch. And here brings up Jay Ponciano for the second time here in the inning as the Cougars have batted around.
The catcher, number 30, Jay Ponciano.
It all started with Ponciano drawing a base on balls. He ended up coming around to score. We've had 2 hit batters, 2 walks, make it 3 walks and 3 hits here in this inning by the Husky pitchers. Pitch on the way to Ponciano. It's a fastball missing outside for ball 1. Runners take their leads. Jones at third, Ard at second, Argyropoulos at first. Bases loaded with Cougars. Here's the 1-0, and that's outside, ball 2 and high. Now the Huskies just trying to get the ball over the plate here in what's turned out to be a disastrous fifth inning. Cougars 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 4 more here in the fifth to lead it 11-3, and they're not done yet. Bases loaded, 2 out, and a 2-0 count to Ponciano. Again, the runners take their leads at every base. Here's the stretch by Gonzalez, and the 2-0. And that's popped up a mile high in front of the plate. Off with the mask is the catcher, Santee. Coming down the line is Scott, and Santee will make the catch, and he's knocked down by Scott. They run into one another, but Santee holds on to it. Boy, and that's the kind of inning it was for the Dogs in the bottom of the fifth. 10 men come to the plate, 4 score. As we go to the top of the sixth, it's the Cougars 11 and the Huskies 3.
Lewis, I was surfing the web, comparing other airlines' rates to Horizon Air and Alaska Airlines.
Really, Clark, and you're the one who always said...
I know, it's not about the money, I know.
You always said that Alaska and Horizon are our airlines from right here in the Northwest, and we take care of our own.
I realize that, Lewis, but I got
Clark, you always said that the 3 C's matter most.
Convenience, comfort, and quality. I know. I'm just trying to say that the prices at AlaskaAir.com are really low. But you're right, it's not about the money.
On the Clark and Lewis expedition, it wasn't about making $40 a month.
$40? I was paid $30 a month.
And worth every penny.
But
you were like a Horizon or Alaska fare at AlaskaAir.com. A tremendous value that America couldn't find anywhere else.
Yeah, but...
But it's not about the money, I know.
Yeah, but I...
Look, refills.
Ooh. Find low fares and great deals on cars, hotels, vacation packages, and more. All in one easy place at AlaskaAir.com.
Well, just about everything that could happen has happened in a bad way for the Huskies in this one so far. We go to the top of the sixth. Cougars in front 11-3. Chad Arnold continues to take his warm-up tosses. We'll see how much longer he is for this game. But the Huskies now just trying to make it somewhat respectable. I think their issues, though, right now happen to be on the mound as opposed to the plate. They just were all over the place in both the fourth and fifth innings out of their bullpen, and they'll try and start chipping into an 8-run deficit here in the top of the sixth. Huskies will send the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the order due up. It'll be catcher B.K. Santee, followed by first baseman Eric Peterson, and then designated hitter Spencer Rogers. First pitch on the way by Arnold, drifting outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Husky catcher B.K. Santee 0 for 2 was caught looking and also grounded to third. Arnold ready to go into the wide. Here comes the 1-0. And that one's lined foul down the left field line. And the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Santee, the junior out of San Diego, California. Right-handed hitter, Eric Peterson, the Husky first baseman, on deck. Here's the 1-1, a breaking ball right there for strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes on Santee, as the Cougars have blown this game open here as we go to the top of the sixth. 1-2 pitch, a little blooper towards center, going out the shortstop. Bartlett in the center fielder sleigh ball. Neither can catch it. A little parachute job into center field for the 7th hit of the game for the Dogs. A leadoff bloop single up the middle by B.K. Santee. So Santee just kind of hits a dying quail back up the middle for a little bloop single off Arnold here to start the sixth, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Eric Peterson. Here's the stretch by Arnold, and the pitch on the way to Peterson is way upstairs with a fastball. Ball 1. 11 runs on 13 hits for Washington State. Here's the stretch. And the 1-0 on the way, and that's high and away. 2 balls, no strikes the count on the left-handed hitting first baseman, Eric Peterson. Petey on the day, hit by a pitch, walked and scored. So he's been on base twice. Here's the 2-0. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. 2-1 the count. Outfield straightaway, infield double play depth with the runner on first. Santee led the top of the 6th off with a single. Here's the stretch. Arnold ready to go, delivers the 2-1, and that's swung on and missed. Little changeup, dropped out of the zone, and Peterson went fishing, so the count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nice crowd here this afternoon on a Saturday afternoon in Pullman. Here's the stretch by Arnold, the 2-2 on the way, and that's a little bit outside. The count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Peterson. A lot of crooked numbers on the board. Cougars 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth. Huskies with just 3 in the fourth, and here in the top of the 6th, it's an 11-3 ball game. Full count on Peterson, the Husky first baseman. Santee the lead off the bag at first. The stretch and the pitch on the way. High ball 4. The Huskies have the first 2 base runners on here in the top of the 6th. So despite an 8-run cushion, Chad Arnold, the Cougar right-hander, allowing a bloop base hit and then a walk, and now 2 on for the Dogs, nobody out. And here's Spencer Rogers, the Husky DH. Rogers walked and singled. He's 1 for 1. Also a run scored, part of that 3-run fourth. Runners take their leads for the Huskies. Santee at second, Peterson at first. Arnold the stretch, the look to second, and here comes the pitch on the way. That's a little changeup on the outside corner for called strike 1. Good off-speed delivery that time by Arnold, the 5th-year senior, the right-hander out of Kennewick. 0-1 the count. Rogers, the designated hitter.
Yes.
Rogers, a native of Sammamish. Pitch on the way is chopped foul, and the count goes to 0-2 quickly on the left-handed bat. 330 down the line, both left field and right field. 375 to both alleys, and 400 to dead center. This is a symmetrical park here in terms of the dimensions at Bailey Brayton Field, but the wind making it play much bigger to left and much smaller to right. Here's the 0-2 on the way, and that drifts outside. That wind has consistently blown out to right. We've already seen it wreak havoc on the fly ball hit to right field. Balls that get carried over the right fielders' heads. Ball carried out of here in a couple of instances. And a ball to left field that had been knocked down a few times. 1-2 the count. Pitch on the way is hit high and foul territory. Long run. Left fielder will go up near the corner and make the catch. Clausen. Beautiful run in foul territory by Clausen. And again, that was hit. That probably should have drifted out of play, but that wind knocked it down enough. And Clausen running all the way from straightaway left, catching it in foul territory to record the out. 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Any ball hit to the left side in the air is going to be in play, it seems. So that brings up the 9th hitter in the order. Husky shortstop Ty Afner, now 1 down and 2 on here in the top of the 6th. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way, and that's a breaking ball upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. 11 runs, 13 hits for the Cougars. Just 3 runs, 7 hits for the Huskies here in the top of the 6th. 217, no home runs, 12 batted in. The numbers on After. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's a slider at the knees. Strike 1 call. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. There is activity in the Cougar bullpen. I imagine this might be the final frame for Arnold. We'll see. He's the pitcher of record, having already gone 5 1/3 with an 8-run cushion. Here's the 1-1 on the way, and that's a breaking ball. Strike 2 called. Now he's ahead of After at a ball and 2 strikes. After 0 for 2, grounded into a 3-6-1 inning-ending double play, and also struck out swinging. Here's the stretch by Arnold, the look to second, and the 1-2. Slider chopped foul behind the plate. Count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Again, most of the activity coming later in Pac-10 play. UCLA and Oregon State just getting underway about 9 minutes ago. Oregon State taking the first game of the series 7-5. Here's the stretch and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swinging, that's lined into right field for a base hit. So motoring into third is Santee. He will stay there. Down to second goes Peterson. He'll be there, and the Huskies have the bases loaded with one out here in the top of the sixth on an opposite field single by Ty Afner. And that turns the lineup over. Here's the leadoff hitter, center fielder, Brendan Gardner-Young. And now time is called, and another visit to the mound as we'll see how long Chad Arnold is for this game. I can see a long look down to the Cougar bullpen. I imagine a change might be made here with one out in the top of the sixth. And as I believe the change will be made, Arnold doesn't want to give that baseball up, but he's going to have to here. Home plate umpire Joe Maiden walking out to the mound, and I believe a signal will be made. And indeed, I think the Cougars going to make the change. We will do a timeout as the change is being made. Arnold lifted from the game with one out here in the sixth. 11-3 Washington State. Huskies do have the bases loaded, one out in the top of the sixth. And while the Cougars make the pitching change, we'll take this 2-minute timeout.
Installing, refinishing, or restoring your hardwood floors? Artisan Hardwood Floors provides the highest quality craftsmanship at the most affordable price. For generations, we've been working hard to earn your trust and exceed your expectations. We're experts in all types of hardwood services and specialize in sweetest finish with a wide range of color and top finishes. Whether it's installation, sanding, refinishing, restoration, or stairwork, call 206-933-1703 or 425-644-9639 or go to artisanhardwoodfloors.com.
Hey fans, you already know Round Table Pizza is a great place to take the family. Keep them in mind when it comes to your year-end sports banquets, whether it's t-ball, soccer, or any sport. The Eastside Round Tables can host banquet meetings and parties of all sizes, and of course, you'll always receive the best pizza in town. In Overlake, Woodinville, and Issaquah, there's a Round Table near you.
Hurry into your local Round Table Pizza in Overlake, Woodinville, or Issaquah and ask for your free Husky glass, available while supplies last.
Neighbors are great sources of advice. It's no different when it comes to your health. You just need to talk to the right neighbor. Like your UW Neighborhood Clinic, part of the UW Medicine Health System. Take it from Steph Water, who breathes easier without the bronchitis. Or the Renoir family, whose girls have their annual checkup every November. You'll find 7 UW neighborhood clinics across the Puget Sound region. UW Medicine Health System. From here, we change the world. Read more stories at uwmedicine.org/stories.
If you're in the dark when it comes to choosing an electrician, you're not alone. What makes Bell-Kirk Electric stand out? It could be their top quality customer service. Maybe it's because they do the job right the first time. Whatever the reason, folks keep calling Bell-Kirk Electric for all their commercial and residential power, light, and wiring needs. Get enlightened. Call Bell-Kirk Electric today. They're in your yellow pages. That's Bell-Kirk Electric. Fast, friendly, and reliable.
Brendan Gardner-Young will be the hitter, and the new pitcher into the ball game for Washington State, Richie Ochoa, the left-hander out of Friday Harbor High School, former Wildcat, now a Cougar here. And the base is loaded. First pitch on the way to Brendan Gardner-Young here in the top of the sixth upstairs for ball one. It's 11-3 Washington State as Chad Arnold, the Cougar starter, was lifted with one out in the top of the sixth. Still a mountain to climb for the Dogs, but the base is loaded, one down, and a 1-0 count to Gardner-Young against the left-hander Ochoa. Here comes the 1-0, and that's hit foul up and out of play over our heads. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. Ochoa, again, out of Friday Harbor High School, up there in the San Juans, on San Juan Island. 0-1 with an ERA of 5.19, making his sixth appearance of the year. The left-hander's 1-1 on the way, and that's lifted toward left center field. Might drop in, but a sliding attempt bobbled by the center fielder, and coming in to score is the runner from third, Santee, but forced at third is Peterson, who had to hang up between second and third to wait and see if that ball was caught. Slaybaugh couldn't come down with it. A fielder's choice and a put out 8-5, so there you go. That's the scoring decision on a play on a ball that was hit to shallow center. And a sliding effort by Slaybaugh, so no base hit, obviously, with a runner at third getting forced, but the Huskies do get a run in. So Gardner-Young on a fielder's choice on it first. And down to second on the play goes after, as Peterson was forced at third, but the run coming in to score in the form of B.K. Santee, so it's now 11-4. But I think at this point, Cougars no doubt would trade it out for a run as the first pitch on the way to Joe Meggs. This is for ball one. Time is called, and Ochoa will step off, and home plate umpire Joe Maiden wants to make sure the board is right. It reads no balls, one strike. So the Huskies do get one back here in the top of the sixth. A really tough break there because Peterson really didn't have any other choice but to wait on that shallow fly ball to center to hang up and see if it would be caught. A sliding catch attempt dribbled off the glove, and credit Slaybaugh, after not being able to come up, straightened up and threw out the runner at third with the bases loaded. That's a force anywhere, and he got Peterson stuck between second and third. Nothing he can do about it. Pitch down low for ball one. Here's the stretch in the 1-1, and that one is down and away, ball two. 2 balls and 1 strike. Boy, it's just been a bizarre series at the plate for the Huskies. You get a play like that, Huskies getting doubled up on an appeal, leaving early on a sacrifice fly in last night's game, or a would-be sac fly. Here's the 2-1, and that's hit foul up and out of play, and the count even on Meggs, 2-2. Joe Meggs has been white hot. He's 3 for 3 today for the Huskies. Single up the middle, infield single in the third, run scoring single in the fourth, and he went 3 for 4 last night. He's 6 of his last 7. 2-2 the count. Here's the stretch, and the pitch on the way low, and it goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and with 2 down, the runners will move. After will break from second. Gardner Young will break from first. It's 11-4 here in the top of the sixth. Huskies trying to make some noise, though, as they trail. Full count. Here's the stretch. Runners go. Pitch on the way is hit outside the bag at first. It'll be collected by Ard. He'll go to the bag himself and decide retired. Huskies do get one in what turned out to be a fielder's choice into shallow center. And as we go to the bottom of the sixth, it's still all Washington State. Cougars 11, Huskies 4.
To make it in this league, you need to give 100% of the time. Why would you expect anything less from your auto mechanic? The professionals at Seattle Auto Service Center are the area's leading automotive professionals. They feature ASE certified technicians, trained and certified to perform diagnosis, repair, and service on all systems of your automobile, truck, and SUV. For all your auto repair and maintenance needs, visit them at 6718 Roosevelt Way Northeast, or find out more at SeattleAutoServiceCenter.com.
Neighbors are great sources of advice. It's no different when it comes to your health. You just need to talk to the right neighbor. Like your UW Neighborhood Clinic, part of the UW Medicine Health System. Take it from Steph Walker, who breathes easier without the bronchitis. Or the Renoir family, whose girls have their annual checkup every November. You'll find 7 UW Neighborhood Clinics across the Puget Sound region. UW Medicine Health System. From here, we change the world. Read more stories at uwmedicine.org/stories.
Bottom of the sixth here at Bailey Brayton Field. Steve Sandmeyer with you as the Cougars are all over the Huskies here in the middle game of this 3-game series. 11-4 the advantage. Ochoa coming on and getting the final 2 outs in the top of the sixth, allowing one of Arnold's runs to come in on a blue fielder's choice in center on a play in which the runner at third was forced out. Here's the second inning of work for Jeff Gonzalez, and the pitch on the way is lined foul up the first base line and down into the right field corner by the DH Adam Nelbowich. 0-1 the count. So close the book on Arnold. He is the pitcher of record in an 11-4 game. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, but he is in line to win the game unless the Huskies pull off a magic act here. Still plenty of baseball to go, but down 11-4 in this one as the 0-1 pitch drifts down and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cougars 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth for their 11. Huskies 3 in the fourth and 1 in the sixth for their 4. As the 1-1 pitch on the way to Nelbowich drifts high and away for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Gonzalez, the third Husky pitcher to see action. Aaron West got the start and went 3 innings. And then it was Jeff Brigham for an inning and 2/3. Here's the pitch on the way. Grounded in the hole between a pass to diving second baseman Jacob Lamb and into right field for a single. That is hit number 14 of the day for Washington State. And yet again, they lead off an inning with a base runner. They let off the first, the second, the 4th, the 5th, and now the 6th with a leadoff man on.
Running for the Cougars, number 33, Nate Blackham.
So pinch runner as Nate Blackham comes on to pinch run for Nelbowich here in the bottom of the 6th. So put Blackham on, the freshman out of Meade and Mount Spokane High School on the first base. Here's a pitch on the way to Slaybaugh, the center fielder, and that one by Gonzalez drifting low and away for ball 1. Slaybaugh, each of his last 2 plate appearances, gotten on and scored. Singled and scored in the 4th, walked and scored, part of that 4-run 5th, in which the Cougars sent 10 to the plate. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Blackham, the pinch runner, the lead off the bag at first. Pitch on the way, swing and a ball, chopped foul at the plate. And the count goes to a ball and a strike. Huskies dropping a decision last night by a final of 5-2. And looked like we'd have a tight one here in the middle innings as the Huskies got 3 in the 4th to make it 4-3 within just a run. And then Washington State explodes for 3 in the bottom of the 4th, 4 in the bottom of the 5th. Kind of blow this game open, despite the fact the Huskies got a 1 in the top of the 6th. Pitch on the way, lifted high and deep to right field, but Anselman coasting over, and he'll camp underneath it and make the play. Throw all the way back down to first, as hustling back from second is a pinch runner, Blackham. That'll be a long fly out, 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th. So that'll bring up the 9th hitter for the Cougars, second baseman Tommy Richards.
Number 6, Tommy Richards.
Austin Voth will get the start tomorrow for the Huskies. It'll be a noon first pitch, pregame at 11:45. Interestingly enough, Voth, the jersey, number 31, is being worn by Jeff Gonzalez. The word we've gotten is evidently the umpires didn't like something with Gonzalez's jersey, his regular number 44. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's chopped foul off the foot of Richards. Something, I'm not sure if it was a button that was loosed and the jersey was flying open when he delivered, or I can't really imagine anything else with the jersey that the home plate umpire Joe Maiden would have an issue with, but Gonzalez, while taking his warm-up pitches, had to run into the dugout and borrow someone else's jersey, so might as well use the guy who won't appear today, and that'll be tomorrow's starter, Austin Voth. Here's a throw to first, and diving back to the bag is the pinch runner, Blackham. 1 down, 1 on. Cougars in front 11-4 with Washington State at the plate in the bottom of the 6th. The 9th hitter, Tommy Richards, the batter, hitting from the right side. There's a stretch by Gonzalez. Long hesitation and the 0-1. Breaking ball, you bet. Right there, strike 2 called. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes on Richards. Richards has yet to join the party. He is the only Cougar yet to reach base in this game. He's 0 for 3 with a fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout. All the other Cougar hitters have gotten on base, and many of them multiple times. 11-4 Washington State here in the 6th. Here's the 0-2, and that one's down and away. In fact, 7 of the 8 Cougars that have joined the party have gotten on base at least twice. Nelbowich, who just singled last time before being lifted for the pinch runner, the only one who's only gotten on once. And then you've got Richards here, who has yet to reach base. Standing in from the right side, 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Blackham, the pinch runner, lead off the bag at first. Here's the stretch by Gonzalez. Runner goes. This one's chopped foul outside the dugout on the third base side where the Cougars reside. So Blackham, the pinch runner, will have to take a U-turn at second and head back to first. The count stays at 1-2. Not a good day for the Husky staff. Aaron West, 3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. And then Jeff Brigham out of the bullpen, an inning and 2/3, 6 hits, 7 earned runs before Gonzalez takes over. As the Cougars lead it 11-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the stretch. And the 1-2. Breaking ball ripped into left field for a base hit. Meggs will chase it down, rounding second, coming toward third, and motoring in safely is a pinch runner, Blackham. And the Cougars have runners on the corners, only 1 down as the onslaught continues here in the bottom of the 6th. So with runners on the corners and only one down, it'll turn the lineup over. Here's shortstop Cody Bartlett.
Number 2, Cody Bartlett.
15 hits on the afternoon in only 5 1/3 innings, as the Husky pitching staff resembling a jugs machine today in Pullman as a group. One down, runners on the corners. Blackham at third, Richards at first, and here's the pitch on the way to the leadoff man Bartlett, and that misses high and away for ball 1. Richards can have a chuckle now. He finally does join the party, and now all 9 Cougar players have reached base today. 10 if you count the pinch runner Slaybaugh. Didn't really reach base. He came in for the single by Nelbowich earlier this inning. Want to know the count to Bartlett, the leadoff man. Here's a pitch on the way, and that's up and in, spinning away. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The on-deck hitter is Patrick Clausen. And all Clausen today has done is hit 2 singles, a double, a triple, has knocked in 5 runs, has scored 4, and has stolen a base. He's 4 for 4. Here's the 2-0, and that's down low, ball 3. He'll be taken all the way, Will Bartlett, the leadoff man. Runners on the corners. 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Cougars looking for more. Already up 11-3. The stretch by Gonzalez and the 3-0 pitch on the way. Up and in, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Bartlett staring back to Gonzalez, which was pretty silly in my opinion. I mean, Gonzalez is in there just trying to find the strike zone, and Bartlett taking exception to a couple of balls up and in. Well, here you go. If there's one game to pad your stats, it might be this one. In an 11-4 game, I'm pretty sure with the bases loaded, they're going to turn Clausen loose and have him turn the fan on. Patrick Clausen, the Cougar left fielder, stands in. Again, 4 for 4. With 2 singles, a double, a triple, 5 runs batted in, and 4 runs scored, in addition to a stolen base. And here comes Lindsey Meggs out of the Husky dugout, and it won't be Gonzalez. He's bringing the hook with him. This one dying a slow death if you're the Huskies on a Saturday afternoon. 1 down, bottom of the 6th, bases loaded for the Cougars. Huskies trail it already 11-4, and while the Dogs make the pitching change, we'll take this 2-minute timeout.
Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, your next building or remodeling project is only going to be as good as the products you use. That's why every project should start with a visit to Limbach Lumber Company in Ballard, or online at limbachlumber.com. You'll find a large selection of millwork, decking, and lumber, and a very knowledgeable and helpful staff. Since 1930, Limbach Lumber, quality lumber, and personalized service.
A manager relies on a series of signs to send his message to the players on the field. Your business needs more than hand signals to get its message out. That's why business leaders throughout the area rely on Tubart Group. From the initial design to final installation, their knowledgeable staff can show you the most creative solutions to fit your needs and your budget. So call the pros the Huskies use, the design experts at Tubart Group at 206-223-1122, or log on to www.tubart.com.
We all need advice sometimes. When it comes to your vision, talk to people who've been there. They'll point you to UW Medicine Eye Institute at Harborview, like Dave Larson, whose glaucoma was caught and treated early. Or Monica Lowe, who thanks to refractive surgery can finally see without glasses. People across our region trust their vision to the UW Medicine Eye Institute. UW Medicine Health System. From here, we change the world. Request an appointment and read more stories at uwmedicine.org/stories.
As you enjoy baseball season, think about the game that is life. Are you in shape financially to play beyond the 5th inning? What would happen if your life went into extra innings? At Edward Jones, we have a lineup of financial solutions to help you through the game of life. Tax advantage investments to increase retirement savings in the case of extra innings. Long-term care insurance to help with some of life's errors. And life insurance to prepare for the final tally.
Learn more. Call All Century team member Dwayne Covey at 206-524-0050. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Husky right-hander Zach Wright, the fourth Washington pitcher to get action today. 11-4, Cougars in front here in the bottom of the sixth, and Wright comes into the game with the bases loaded and just one down. Wright making his 11th appearance of the year. 0-0 with an ERA of 4.20 in 15 innings. Has allowed 14 hits, has walked 7, and has fanned 6. Opponents hitting .233 off Wright. This one already heavily in favor of Washington State and in danger of being further so. Bases loaded, one down, and Clausen, the big man at the plate today, at the dish. First pitch is a slider by Wright, down and in. Again, Patrick Clausen, 4 for 4. 2 singles, a double, a triple, 5 runs batted in, 4 runs scored, and a stolen base. And we're only in the bottom of the sixth. Outside of that, he's been horrible today. Runners take their leads. Blackham at third, the pinch runner. Richards at second, Bartlett at first. Here's Wright out of the stretch, and the Husky right-hander, after the hesitation, will come to the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Popped up behind the plate, off with a mask. Now it's the first baseman, Peterson, coming down the line. He lost it in the shot, and he can't come down with it as it hits the turf in foul territory in front of the dugout. That'll go as a strike and a non-play, and again, so it goes for the Huskies this afternoon. Got a pinch runner at first base for Washington State as Tam Singh comes in. Trace Tam Singh, the pinch runner. But Peterson unable to make the play, lost the ball in the sun. And it'll be a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Clausen. This has been an unmitigated disaster for the Dogs today. Here's the 1-1. And that one on the outside corner, strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. So put Trace Tam Singh, the pinch runner, in for Bartlett, whose day is over, as the Cougars have the luxury up 11-4 to go to the bench. A ball and 2 strikes on Clausen. Here's the stretch by Wright, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, and he got him down on strikes. 2 down here in the bottom of the sixth, and that is no small feat. Clausen, the first time in 5 at-bats, the Huskies are able to get him out.
The right fielder, number 25, Derek Jones.
And that brings up Derek Jones, an equally impressive day at the plate. Jones, the 3-hole hitter for the Cougars, 4 for 4, 3 singles, a double, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. And the base is still loaded now, 2 down. Left-handed hitter Jones. Here's a stretch by Wright. And the freshman's pitch on the way is right there at the knees for strike 1. Zach Wright. Out of Black Diamond, Washington, right-hander standing on the first base side of that rubber. Runners take their leads. Blackham at third. Richards at second. Tam Singh at first. Here's the stretch. And the hesitation, now the 0-1 on the way to Jones as a breaking ball spinning outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Cougars 11 runs, 15 hits. Huskies 4 runs, 8 hits. Cougars winning a relatively low-scoring one, 5-2 last night, and now they're enjoying a day in the sun here in the middle innings with a 7-run lead in the bottom of the sixth. Here's Wright from the stretch. And the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that one's down low. 2 balls and 1 strike the count on the hitter Derek Jones. Jones singled in the first, singled and scored in the third, doubled in a run and scored in the fourth, singled in a run in the fifth. He's 4 for 4 with those 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. Here's the stretch by Wright. 2-1 count to Jones with the bases loaded. Pitch on the way. And that's on the outside corner. Strike 2 called. Nice pitch there by Zach. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one really got sideways in the middle innings here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, bases loaded. Here in the bottom of the sixth. Wright, the Husky right-handed reliever from the belt, will look to third. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss, and they got him down, striking out the first 2 batters he faces coming on in relief. Nicely done by Zach Wright, the Husky right-handed freshman, coming out of the pen and getting 2 guys out on strikes. We are finally done with 6 As we go to the top of the 7th, it's the Cougars 11 and the Huskies 4.
Installing, refinishing, or restoring your hardwood floors? Artisan Hardwood Floors provides the highest quality craftsmanship at the most affordable price. For generations, we've been working hard to earn your trust and exceed your expectations. We're experts in all types of hardwood services and specialize in sweetest finish with a wide range of color and top finishes. Whether it's installation, sanding, refinishing, restoration, or stairwork, call 206-933-1703 or 425-644-9639 or go to artisanhardwoodfloors.com.
We all need advice sometimes. When it comes to your vision, talk to people who've been there. They'll point you to UW Medicine Eye Institute at Harborview, like Dave Larson, whose glaucoma was caught and treated early, or Monica Lowe, who thanks to refractive surgery can finally see without glasses. People across our region trust their vision to the UW Medicine Eye Institute. UW Medicine Health System. From here, we change the world. Request an appointment and read more stories at uwmedicine.org/stories.
All right, we go to the top of the 7th here at Bailey Brayton Field. Steve Sandmeyer with you as the Cougars enjoy a big cushion. It's 11-4, Washington State. New Cougar shortstop out there is Trace Tam Singh defensively. Huskies with a ton of work to do, and they're going to send the heart of the order up to the plate against Richie Ochoa. Ochoa coming in for his second inning of work, a 6'2", 247-pound left-hander out of Friday Harbor, Washington. Former Friday Harbor Wildcat doing it for Washington State out of the bullpen in his 6th appearance of the year. Jacob Lamb, the 3-hitter for Washington, followed by cleanup hitter Troy Scott, and then right fielder, the 5th hitter, Chase Anselmans. 11-4, Tam Singh, again the new shortstop for the Cougars defensively. Here's Ochoa's first pitch on the way to Lamb, and it's at the knees with a fastball for strike one. 0-1 the count on Lamb. Lamb walked in the first, lined out to center, and a fly out to left. He's 0 for 2 so far on the day. Here's the 0-1, and that drifts low and away for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Now we're getting more sunshine here this afternoon. The breeze still steady, but overall pretty pleasant conditions for baseball here. Here's the 1-1, and that's hit foul up and out of play down the left field line, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Lamb, a .329 average, 2 home runs, 22 batted in. Hitting from the left side, 51 hits on the year for Jacob, and that is a team high. Here's the 1-2 on the way, and that's down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Troy Scott, the Husky cleanup hitter, on deck. We're in the top of the 7th with the Cougars in front 11-4. Lamb ready to go. The fellow southpaw Ochoa the same. Here's the 2-2. And that's laced up the middle, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. So Lamb right back up through the box on a 2-2 pitch. And the Huskies have the leadoff man on here in the top of the 7th. That's the 9th hit of the afternoon for Washington. Nice piece of hitting by Jacob, who has his first hit of the game and season hit number 52, again to lead all Huskies.
The third baseman, number 32, Troy Scott.
So that brings up Troy Scott. Scott, the Husky cleanup hitter, stepping up, 0 for 3, a fly out, a pop foul, and a fly out back in the 5th his last time up. He's looking for his first knock of the afternoon. A left-hander by the name of Richie Ochoa. Kicks and deals, and that one's low and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Chase Anselman, another left-handed bat in the on-deck circle. As Ochoa coming out of the bullpen. Here's the 1-0 on the way, and that one's a little bit low and away, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Huskies stack the lineup with southpaws against the right-hander. But Chad Arnold good enough to get the win because his offense supported him mightily. Here comes the 2-0 on the way, swinging a ground ball foul outside the bag at first. Arnold in line to win this at 5 1/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, but he had a huge cushion when he left. 11-3. One of his runs came in to score to make it 11-4. 2-1 the count to Scott. Here's the stretch by Ochoa. Pitch on the way, and that's fouled straight back over our heads, and the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good vantage point here at Bailey Brayton Field in the press box, newly renovated. Nice crowd. We had a good crowd yesterday as well. Good baseball atmosphere here at Washington State University. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner takes his lead. It's Lamb on at first. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, swinging a ball popped up. Shallow left, out the shortstop Tam Singh. He's underneath it in the left fielder, and it's Clausen to make the catch. Tries to throw back to first and get Lamb, and instead airmails it into the Husky dugout. So Lamb will be awarded second on a throwing error by left fielder Patrick Clausen. It's about the only thing he hasn't done is make a spectacular play defensively. He's made a couple good running catches, but that'll be out of play, and Lamb will get 2 bases on the ball thrown out of play. So he'll advance to third on a ball thrown out of play by the left fielder, Patrick Clausen, on a shallow fly out to left. The Tam Singh went out, and at the very last minute, it was Clausen to make the play, and then he tried to throw all the way back to first and catch Lamb, but he throws it out of play. 2 bases awarded to Lamb, and he'll motor down to third. First pitch on the way to Anselman is in and over for strike 1. So fly out to left by Scott, a 1 out. Dogs with a runner on third, and Anselman 1 for 3 with a solo home run today. Here comes the 0-1. It's a slider right there for strike 2 called. 0-2 quickly on the Husky right fielder. Anselman, couple of ground outs to first and a home run back in the 4th, his 3rd of the year. He's 1 for 3 with that solo blast. Runner on third, 1 down here in the top of the 7th. Huskies still trail it 11-4. Anselman hitting from the left side, but he's in the hole and no balls, 2 strikes. Ochoa from the belt, and the 0-2 pitch on the way, and that's outside. Good fastball, but a little bit away. Ponciano set up on the outside. He hit his target, but he was off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Richie Ochoa ready to go. Here's the stretch and the 1-2. Slider swung on and missed. 2 down here in the top of the 7th. First strikeout for Ochoa out of the bullpen for the Cougars. And that brings up catcher B.K. Santee, the Husky backstop. So Lamb still down at third now, 2 down here in the top of the 7th. And here's the pitch on the way to Santee, and that's down and in for ball 1. Santee singled and scored last time up in the 6th, but it wasn't your conventional scoring play. A little blooper to left center that was taken by the center fielder Slabaugh on a kind of a sliding attempt, and Peterson was forced at third because the bases were loaded. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that hits the corner. Strike 1 call, the ball and a strike. So Gardner Young wasn't credited with a hit. It was a fielder's choice and a put out 8-5 at third base. This one's lined at third. Diving stop on the ground by Arturopoulos. Throws all the way to first. And on a hop, Art digs it outside, retired. There's your defensive play of the game. Arturopoulos, a dive at third, goes all the way across. 1 hops Art, but he digs it out. And the side retired. They're festive here in Pullman, and why not? As we go to the bottom of the 7th, the fans will take their stretch with a score. The Cougars 11 and the Huskies 4.
Hey fans, you already know Round Table Pizza is a great place to take the family. Keep them in mind when it comes to your year-end sports banquets, whether it's t-ball, soccer, or any sport. The Eastside Round Tables can host banquet meetings and parties of all sizes. And of course, you'll always receive the best pizza in town. In Overlake, Woodinville, and Issaquah, there's a Round Table near you.
Hurry into your local Round Table Pizza in Overlake, Woodinville, or Issaquah and ask for your free Husky glass, available while supplies last.
Are you thinking that old mower of yours just won't cut it this year? Then call the pros at Aurora Lawnmower. They specialize in small gas engine repair, including tune-ups and blade sharpening. Your mower will look and act like new for a fraction of the cost. They also sell state-of-the-art equipment and new brands like Toro, Snapper, Honda, and Steel. For 40 years of unbeatable value, call 206-783-0200 or drop by. They're just 1.5 blocks north of Green Lake. Aurora Lawnmower, on the cutting edge of technology.
We go to the bottom of the 7th here in Pullman. Steve Sandmeyer with you as the Husky baseball team trailing 11-4 in the middle game of this 3-game series of the Apple Cup on the baseball diamond. Cougars winning game 1 5-2 and a commanding 11-4 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. The new catcher into the game for the Huskies is Ryan Wiggins. So Wiggins will be behind the plate defensively for the Dogs. And it'll be Taylor Ard, the cleanup hitter for the Cougars, to face Zach Wright here in the bottom of the 7th with Washington State firmly in front by 7 runs. Here's the first pitch on the way to Ard, and it's a breaking ball down low. Ard, couple of runs batted in, a sacrifice fly in the first, a run-scoring single in the fourth. He's also flied out and walked, so he's 1 for 2 with 2 runs batted in today. Zach Wright, who came on in relief and struck out the 2 batters he faced in the 6th. There's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball in for strike 1 call, the ball and a strike. Yeah, nice job by Wright to come on. He inherited a bases-loaded 1-out situation and struck out the 2 most feared hitters in the Cougar lineup today, Patrick Clausen and Derek Jones. Here's the wind by Wright and the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's way outside, ball 2. All Clausen did before Wright struck him out was go 4 for 4 with 2 singles, a double, a triple, and 5 runs batted in. And all Jones did before Wright struck him out was go 4 for 4 with 3 singles, a double, and 2 runs batted in. So Wright for his second inning of work, or I should say first full inning if he gets the out here. Here's the 2-1. Check swing. Did he go around? Appeal made? Yes, he did. They won't have to appeal. That's just a home plate umpire, Joe Maiden, raising the fist. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ard, big right-handed bat. Argyropoulos on deck, who made the fabulous defensive play in the top of the 7th to retire the side. Here's the wind by Wright in the 2-2. And that's hit foul up behind the plate against the screen. And the count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joe Maiden asking for some new baseballs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bottom of the 7th. Ard, the cleanup hitter for the Cougars, standing in. Right, ready to go. The Husky right-handed freshman gets the signals from Wiggins, who started this inning behind the plate. In relief of B.K. Santee, gets the signals, the 2-2, and he leans into a breaking ball, and home plate umpire Joe Maiden says, "You're not getting to first. Stay right here." Ard trying to get his way on base by wearing that pitch and leaned in on a breaking ball and did not try and get out of the way, to the satisfaction of Joe Maiden. So that will not count as a hit batter, and the count remains, or I should say moves to ball 3, of course. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. So now goes full on Ard. Right, ready to go into the wind. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way. It's popped up right side. First baseman Peterson calling for it. Behind the bag in fair territory, and he makes the catch. And there's one down here in the bottom of the 7th. So Ard, after trying to lean into a breaking ball, pops up behind the bag at first, 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. And here's Matt Argyropoulos. Argyropoulos, a 2-run double back in the 3rd, and also a great defensive play in the top half of this inning on a ball hit by B.K. Santee. Diving stop, backhanded play at 3rd, and then coming across the long throw, dug out nicely by Ard. First pitch on the way to Argyropoulos, swing and a miss for strike 1. Again, this game looked to be a tight one, 4-3, as we head into the bottom of the 4th, at which point the Cougars get 3 in the bottom of the 4th and 4 more in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the 0-1, and that's chopped foul outside the Husky dugout on the first base side. And quickly, no balls, 2 strikes on Argyropoulos. We started a little bit after noon. This one just kind of crawling along as we inch closer to the top of the hour and hit 3 o'clock here in Pullman. And we're only in the bottom of the 7th. 0-2 to Argyropoulos, right ready to go into the wind, and Zach's 0-2 pitch on the way to the Cougar third baseman. Strike 3 called, got him with a breaking pitch. And Wright has fanned 3 of the first 4 batters he's faced. 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. So finally, the Huskies getting some effectiveness out of their bullpen. This was not their day on the mound. These are pitchers who've had a pretty good deal of success, namely Brigham is going to be a line that's going to be really deceiving. Here's the wind and the pitch on the way to the batter, Ponciano. Swinging the ball, missed low and away, just kind of trickling out. As now the Cougars just kind of swinging free, up 11-4 in the bottom of the 7th, 0-1 the count. Brigham came into the game with an ERA of 2.81, and well, he left with an ERA of 4.15 now because he gave up 7 earned runs in an inning and 2/3. It was just not his day. Here's the 0-1. That's an understatement. And the pitch is called, strike on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Outside of that, Gonzalez came in for a third of an inning. Walk to batter. Here's the wind and the 0-2 pitch on the way, and that's a fastball upstairs, ball one. But right credit the kid. He came in the bottom of the sixth with a bases loaded one-out situation, struck the two batters out, and they happen to be the best two hitters, at least today in the Cougar order, Clausen and Jones. Now he's got the first two here in the bottom of the seventh, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Ponciano. Here's the wind and the 1-2. And that is a called strike three. How about it? Two more strikeouts here in the seventh, as Wright has fanned 4 of his first 5 batters faced. And we go to the top of the 8th. There's a lone bright spot in this afternoon. Otherwise, a dismal day for the top. Cougars 11, Huskies 4.
When my roof needed repairs, I didn't know where to turn. With so many roofing companies, how could I choose? Then a friend told me about MCR Roofing. She said they offer top-notch service at an affordable price. They use eco-friendly solutions and provide pressure washing, roof maintenance, gutter cleaning, repairs, and skylight installation. She also said they do general remodeling, including kitchens, bathrooms, and additions. I'm glad I chose MCR Roofing. You will be too. Find out more at badroofnomore.com.
Hopkins Nursery is closing its doors. Hi, I'm Alan, the manager at Hopkins Nursery. We've served our community for 5 generations, and sadly, we must now say goodbye. We are located in Bothell, where we've been for decades, just south of 522 and close to 405. The Hopkins name will continue, however, with our high-quality lawn and garden care services. The family at Hopkins Nursery appreciates your business all these years and says, go Dogs.
Stop by Hopkins through the end of May to reminisce and find great values on inventory at must-sell prices.
Top of the 8th here in Pullman, a new catcher into the ball game for Washington State. It's Paul Klingen. Klingen came on and caught late in the ball game last night in the 5-2 Washington State victory in the opening game of this 3-game set. Huskies trail here 11-4, also in game 2 of this series. And unless the Dogs pull a rabbit out of a hat, they're going to be trying to avoid the sweep tomorrow with a noon first pitch in the finale. You can hear that one as well. 11:50 KKNW. Here's the first pitch on the way to the Husky hitter, and that is a ball up for ball one. It's Eric Peterson. He'll be followed by Spencer Rogers and Ty Afner. 7, 8, 9 due up in the Husky order against Richie Ochoa out of the bullpen. Here's the 1-0 on the way. Swung on and missed, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. 11-4. Cougars in front, top of the 8th. Peterson hit by a pitch, walked and scored, and also walked in the 6th. So he doesn't have a plate appearance. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss on a slider, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Ochoa, kind of a funky delivery, but he's a big boy. It's 6'3", 247 from the left side. He just kind of lurches over that big body and delivers a fastball in the upper 80s, complements it with a slider. Because of that kind of herky-jerky motion, he hides the ball pretty well coming off the left side as the 1-2 pitch is a slider spinning upstairs for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Spencer Rogers, the Husky DH on deck. Here's the stretch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball out to first. It is off the glove momentarily of Ard, but he'll collect it himself and go to the bag himself. 1 down here in the top of the 8th. So Ard bobbling it, but knocking it down and taking it to the bag for the ground out to begin the top of inning number 8.
Spencer Rogers.
So here's Spencer Rogers, the Husky DH. Dogs down to their final 5 outs, trailing 11-4 in a game in which the Cougars have collected 15 hits. Huskies have collected 9 hits of their own, but still trail it by 7. Here with 1 out in the top of the 8th. And the pitch on the way is lined toward the middle. Diving stop by Tam Singh. Gets up and throws him out. What a play by the reserve shortstop for Washington State. Trace Tam Singh, the freshman out of Newport High School in Bellevue, on a gorgeous one-hop diving stop, gets up and he throws him out. So the Cougars flashing the leather here in the late frames. 2 down, nobody on top of the 8th. Nice play by the true freshman, and that brings up Ty Afner, the Husky shortstop, batting 9th. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's right of the letters for strike 1. These are the 9th and 10th place teams in the conference, battling against one another this weekend. Here's the 0-1 on the way, and that's down and away. The count evens at a ball and a strike. Huskies come in 3-10 in the conference. Cougars come in 4-12. But this Pac-10 has been about as tough as any of them. Here's the 1-1, and that's grounded through the right side toward the middle. It'll be backhanded by the second baseman, Richards. He'll give it a late token throw, but that'll be an infield single for Ty Afner. Afner motoring over, and he's got the Huskies' 10th hit of the afternoon on a ground ball toward the middle. Richards, again, ranging toward the middle to his right, but all that momentum carried him into the short center field area, and he tried to chuck it underneath his body to first base, but it was well after Afner had gotten across the bag. So an infield single by Afner with 2 down here in the top of the 8th, and that turns the Husky lineup over. Here's a leadoff hitter, Brendan Gardner-Young. Pitch on the way to GY, and that's upstairs for ball 1. 11-4, Cougars in front, 2 down, top of the 8th. Huskies at the plate with 1 on and those 2 down. Gardner-Young, 1 for 4 today, but he does have a couple of runs batted in. Here's the 1-0 on the way. And that's right back up the middle into center field. That ricocheted off the mound and into center field. Heading down to second on the play is Afner, as GY has his second hit of the afternoon on a ball smoked back up through the box. Hit number 11 on the afternoon for the Huskies. Now they'll have 2 on with 2 down here in the top of the 8th. And that brings up left fielder Joe Meggs. Meggs, after a 3-for-4 night last night, a 3-for-4 day today with a run batted in. He has swung a red-hot bat here in this series in the first 2 games, and he's got 2 base runners on to greet him here in the 8th. Here's the pitch by Ochoa, and that's a breaking ball missing upstairs for ball 1. Boy, look at those numbers on that board. 11-15-1, 4-11-0. Or crooked numbers all over the place. As now Klingon, the catcher who came into the game to start the inning defensively, will head out and have a brief conversation with Ochoa. 2 down, 2 on for the Dogs, but they still trail it by 7 runs here in the top of the 8th. Jacob Lamb on deck if Meggs can keep it alive with 2 down. Runners take their leads. After from second, Gardner-Young from first. Here's the stretch by Ochoa. And the big left-hander out of Friday Harbor delivers a 1-0, and that's hit foul. Up and out of play down the right field line. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. Ochoa again. Big left-hander. 6'3", 247-pound sophomore out of Friday Harbor High School right there on San Juan Island. Here's the stretch. And the 1-1. And that one's lifted to foul down the right field line, and that one landing about 15 feet foul out of the reach of the right fielder Jones, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad to be in Friday Harbor right now. One ball, 2 strikes. Go fish a low tide this afternoon, maybe catch a couple of lingcod. You can't do it in the state of Washington in that area, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes is down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife closing off that area outside of lingcod season. You can't even catch rock cod up in the San Juans anymore for conservation purposes. So if you're up that far, just get your Canadian license and go across the border. The 2-2 chopped to the right side. It'll be fielded by Richards at second baseman. He'll throw him out at first and the side retired. Huskies threaten with 2 on, but both end up becoming stranded, and we go to the bottom of the 8th after 7.5. It's the Cougars 11 and the Huskies 4.
Hey, Lewis, did you see my proposal to Horizon Air and Alaska Airlines?
The one about you wanting to identify all the Huskies and Cougars flying Alaska and Horizon out of Seattle?
Yeah.
So that Alaska and Horizon can designate one side of the aisle for Huskies.
And the other side for Cougars.
Yeah, who wouldn't see the brilliance of that?
Do you know how many Huskies and Cougars fly together each day from Seattle? Well, what better way to bring them together?
How about the football game?
Lewis, Alaska and Horizon serve Seattle with the most flights to the most cities. Harmony, not rivalry.
I think we need to test your theory.
Yeah?
I'll sit here.
Uh-huh.
And you go sit somewhere else.
Alaska Airlines and Horizon Air offer more flights to more cities from Seattle than any other airline in the Northwest. Find the lowest fares on Alaska and Horizon at alaskaair.com.
Bottom of the 8th here in Pullman. 890 people in attendance here on a very cozy Saturday afternoon where most of the fans in the chairback seats behind the home plate area. Good atmosphere at Bailey Brayton Field, and most of the fans here enjoying their afternoon. The scattered purple-clad fans, no doubt dismayed at the score. 11-4, Washington State in front here in the bottom of the 8th.
Designated hitter, number 33.
Designated hitter Nate Blackham will stand in. Blackham came in as a pinch runner in the 6th, and he'll get his first chance to take a hack. Zach Wright, the Husky reliever, first pitch swing fouled up and out of play. 0-1. Wright has been one of the lone bright spots today coming out of the pen. Again, inheriting a bases-loaded one-out situation in the 6th. Struck out the 2 batters he faced there. 0-1 the count here on Blackham. The left-handed bat into the wide, and here comes the pitch on the way by Wright. And that one is a little bit outside, ball 1. He then pitched a 1-2-3 7th, and he struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced, both looking. So 5 up, 5 down so far for Wright, 4 coming via strikeout. Here's the wind by Zach and the 1-1 on the way. And that one's hit foul out of play down the left field line. 1-2 the count. Nate Blackham, a freshman out of Meade, Washington, Mount Spokane High School. Small kid, 5'8", $166. Coming in as a pinch runner back in the 6th after this game has gotten out of hand. 11-4 in favor of the Cougars. Here's the 1-2 on the way. And that's called strike 3. Another one. 3 strikeouts in a row. And 5 out of 6 via the punch-out for Wright. And he is rolling out of the Husky bullpen. 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th. So here's center fielder Colin Slaybaugh. Slaybaugh flew out last time up, also singled and walked and scored in both the 4th and 5th, struck out swinging. He's 1 for 3. Takes the first pitch in and over for called strike 1. Slaybaugh, the left-handed hitting center fielder. Here in the bottom of the 8th, 1 out, nobody on. Here comes the 0-1, strike 2, another breaking ball. Boy, Wright really has that slider working well for him. 0-2 the count. He has struck out 3 in a row, all looking. Here with 1 out in the 8th. Wright ready to go, and we'll nod yes to Wiggins behind the plate. Here's the wind in the 0-2, another breaking ball. This one looped towards center and shallow. Going to be a long run, but coming in to make the catch is Brendan Gardner-Young. And there are 2 down. So short, shallow fly to center. And that is 7 up, 7 down so far for Zach Wright out of the Husky bullpen. 2 down, bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up the 9th hitter in the order, second baseman Tommy Richards.
Number 6, Tommy Richards.
Cougars well in front, 11-4. The Huskies will have their last call in the 9th. They will send the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the order to the plate. Here comes the pitch on the way to Richards, and another breaking ball in and over for strike 1. Boy, Wright is dialed in with that pitch. Ready to go, standing on the first base side of that rubber. The freshman, Zach, ready to go. Looks in, goes into the wind, and here comes the 0-1 on the way. And that's chopped foul outside the bag at third. And the count quickly goes to no balls, 2 strikes. Wright fanned Clausen and Jones looking, got Ard to pop up to first, caught Arturopoulos and Ponciano looking, started this inning by getting Blackham looking, and got Slaybaugh to fly out short and center. He's 7 up, 7 down, 0-2 pitch. Coming up against Richards here with 2 out on the 8th. The wind and the pitch. Change up, chopped back to the mound. Wright will come off the mound, glove it, and throw him out. Boy, 8 up, 8 down on a great effort since coming into the ballgame with 1 out in the 6th by Zach Wright. Well, that's your one bright spot today, let's be honest. As we head to the 9th, last call for the Dogs. After 8 complete, it's Washington State 11 and Washington 4.
Installing, refinishing, or restoring your hardwood floors? Artisan Hardwood Floors provides the highest quality craftsmanship at the most affordable price. For generations, we've been working hard to earn your trust and exceed your expectations. We're experts in all types of hardwood services and specialize in Swedish finish with a wide range of color and top finishes. Whether it's installation, sanding, refinishing, restoration, or stairwork, call 206-933-1703 or 425-644-9639 or go to artisanhardwoodfloors.com.
Hey fans, you already know Round Table Pizza is a great place to take the family. Keep them in mind when it comes to your year-end sports banquets, whether it's t-ball, soccer, or any sport. The Eastside Round Tables can host banquet meetings and parties of all sizes, and of course, you'll always receive the best pizza in town. In Overlake, Woodinville, and Issaquah, there's a Round Table near you.
Hurry into your local Round Table Pizza in Overlake, Woodinville, or Issaquah and ask for your free Husky glass, available while supplies last.
Well, if there's ever a time to bring in a converted catcher, now a pitcher, it's in an 11-4 game in the ninth inning, and that's what Washington State will do. Sal Arena, the right-hander, taking his warm-up tosses in the top of the ninth. Dogs down to their final 3 outs. Last call in an 11-4 game. Arena making his 4th appearance of the year on the mound. No win-loss record with an ERA of .386 and 4 2/3, has allowed 4 hits, has walked 1, has not struck out any. Opponents hitting .235 off the right-handed converted catcher Sal Arena. Huskies will send 3, 4, and 5 due up here in the ninth. It'll be Jacob Lamb, followed by cleanup hitter Troy Scott and right fielder Chase Anselman. It's in a game that got away from the Dogs in the middle innings. 11-4, the Cougars in front as they look to take this series and take the first 2 of this 3-game set after winning last night by a final of 5-2. As this game now over 3 hours in length, we had a 12:03 first pitch. Now 5 minutes after the 3 o'clock hour, here's the second baseman, Jacob Lamb.
The second baseman, number 18, Jacob Lamb.
Lamb singled his last time up in the 7th. Also walked a couple of flyouts. He's 1 for 3. So Arena, the right-hander, to go after Lamb. First pitch on the way. Fastball, 90 miles an hour, but a little bit outside. Ball 1. Troy Scott in the on-deck circle here in the ninth as the Huskies trail at 11-4. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that's at the knees. Strike 1 called. A ball and a strike on Lamb. Left-handed hitter. Other scores of note. Oregon leading California 4-3. That's in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's on the outside corner. Strike 2 called. A ball and 2 strikes on Lamb. Cal winning yesterday's game 2-1, but trailing 4-3 against the Ducks in the bottom of the 8th. No score between Oregon State and UCLA in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and that misses outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oregon State beating UCLA last night, 7-5. And then 2 other games yet to start. USC at Arizona starting at 6 tonight. Stanford at Arizona State also starting at 6. The 2-2 pitch is ripped into right field for a base hit. So Lamb smokes it in front of the right fielder Jones on a ball he squared up on a 2-2 offering from Arena. The Huskies have their 12th hit of the afternoon. It'll be a leadoff single here in the ninth with the Huskies trailing at 11-4. So that brings up the cleanup hitter, Troy Scott. Scott, the third baseman, 0 for 4 today. 3 flyouts and a pop foul. Not his day so far. Here's a pitch on the way by Arena. Changeup swung on and missed. And the count, no balls, 1 strike. Arena, again, a converted catcher, making just his 4th appearance of the year. He's only gone 4 1/3 innings in his previous 3 appearances. But when you're ahead 11-4 in the ninth, and you have an opportunity, you take advantage as the pitch is chopped foul outside the bag at first, and quickly it goes to no balls, 2 strikes on Troy Scott. Husky right fielder Chase Anselman in the on-deck circle, who has a solo home run today. Hit that back in the 4th on a ball that just cleared the right field fence. 0-2 the count to Scott. Runner takes his lead. Lamb. Pitch on the way, and that's hit foul up and out of play to our left. Now sunshine prevailing here on the Palouse. Those high cumulus clouds drifting by. Wind still blowing out to right, as it has for both yesterday and today's game in their entirety. Here's the stretch by Arena. And the 0-2. Swinging again, a ball hit foul up and out of play. Back behind the screen. I mentioned during last night's broadcast, I came here in late February to announce a Washington women's basketball game. And I look over adjacent to Beasley Coliseum, and they are playing baseball out here, and it was about 16 degrees. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's upstairs for ball one. Now, again, I believe the conference rule is if it gets below freezing, you can't play the game. But this was a non-conference game. And so they were playing baseball in late February here in Pullman, and it was about 16 degrees outside. And here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's ripped down the line, and Wright going to drop in fair, get all the way to the corner. Rounding second is Lamb. He's going to go to third. They're going to wave him in from third. Nope, they're going to stop him right there. And motoring in his second is Troy Scott with a double here in the ninth. The runners on second and third. Nobody out. As the Dogs with a mountain to climb here, down 11-4, but they get the first two runners on. A single by Lamb to right, and now Scott a double to right.
Number 11, Chase Anselman.
So that'll bring up Chase Anselman, the Husky right fielder, who does have a home run today. He's 1 for 4 with that solo home run. Back in the fourth inning. Here's the pitch on the way to Anselman. That's outside for ball one. And a visit to the mound. Here comes Klingon, the backup catcher, to go talk to the right-hander Arena. They've got a 7-run cushion. I'm pretty sure this is his inning. But getting back to the story about Washington State playing Cal Santa Barbara in late February here in 16-degree temperatures. Had to do a double take as I'm heading into the basketball arena ready to announce a game. And sure enough, they're playing a ball game out here on the field turf surface. Here's the stretch and the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's upstairs, ball two. Safe to say that'll be the last road trip that Cal Santa Barbara books to Pullman. But in kind of a sick, twisted way, justice served that it was a team from Santa Barbara that had to play in those conditions. 2-0 the count to Anselman. Here's a pitch on the way, and that's outside, ball three. And the Arena one pitch away from loading the bases for Ryan Wiggins, who came on to catch for B.K. Santee back in the seventh. As the sun dips behind one of those big cumulus clouds for the moment, and shade covers the field. There's the stretch in the 3-0, and that one's up and in, ball four. So the bases are loaded for the Huskies here in the top of the ninth. Unfortunately, they trail it 11-4, but they'll try and continue to climb in this one, as now Ryan Wiggins will be the hitter. Wiggins, again, his first at bat of the afternoon. He came in to catch for Santee in the bottom of the seventh, and now he'll get his crack at it with a bat, standing in from the right side here in the top of the ninth. Bases loaded, nobody out for the Dogs. 11-4, Huskies trail it. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way to Wiggins, and that misses upstairs, ball one. Lamb at third, Scott at second, Anselman at first. Neither of the three, none of the three being held, with a 7-run game here in the ninth. Here's the stretch by Arena. And the right-hander's 1-0 on the way. And that's taken a breaking ball, strike one called. So finally Arena finds the strike zone. And the count evens on Wiggins at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wiggins on the year, a .244 average, no home runs, 3 batted in. He's 21 of 86 on the season. Right-handed stance in that box. Bases loaded here in the top of the ninth. Stretched by Arena. And here comes the 1-1. And that's chopped foul outside the bag at third, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Tomorrow's game at noon, pregame at 11:45. Austin Voth, the scheduled starter for the Huskies. And he actually salvaged the one game last weekend against USC in that win against the Trojans 6 days ago. 7 innings, only 1 earned run. Here's the 1-2 on the way, and that's a slider low and outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the crowd getting a little restless here as they root on Arena, the converted catcher, out there to pitch here at his 4th appearance of the season. 2-2 the count. Here's the stretch and the 2-2. Fastball low, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the count full here in the top of the ninth. at 3-2. Here's the stretch by Arena. Wiggins ready to go. The payoff pitch on low, ball 4, and he's walked in a run. And the bases remain loaded with nobody out, so that'll be a run-scoring walk for Ryan Wiggins. And now we're going to get a visit to the mound, and they're going to let Arena go, or they're going to go to the bullpen. I think they may make the change just to be safe, as the score is now the Cougars 11 and the Huskies 5. And yeah, they're going to take Arena out of the ball game. All 3 runs are his. Bases loaded, nobody out. Dogs down by 6 here in the top of the 9th. And as the Cougars make the pitching change, up 11-5, the Huskies will have the bases loaded, nobody out. And Eric Peterson, the scheduled hitter. When we return, as the Cougars make the change, we'll take this 2-minute timeout.
Neighbors are great sources of advice. It's no different when it comes to your health. You just need to talk to the right neighbor. Like your UW Neighborhood Clinic, part of the UW Medicine Health System. Take it from Steph Walker, who breathes easier without the bronchitis. Or the Renoir family, whose girls have their annual checkup every November. You'll find 7 UW neighborhood clinics across the Puget Sound region. UW Medicine Health System. From here, we change the world. Read more stories at uwmedicine.org/stories.
Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, your next building or remodeling project is only going to be as good as the products you use. That's why every project should start with a visit to Limbach Lumber Company in Ballard or online at limbachlumber.com. You'll find a large selection of millwork, decking, and lumber, and a very knowledgeable and helpful staff. Since 1930, Limbach Lumber, quality lumber, and personalized service.
A manager relies on a series of signs to send his message to the players on the field. Your business needs more than hand signals to get its message out. That's why business leaders throughout the area rely on Tubart Group. From the initial design to final installation, their knowledgeable staff can show you the most creative solutions to fit your needs and your budget. So call the pros the Huskies use, the design experts at Tubart Group at 206-223-1122, or log on to www.tubart.com.
We all need advice sometimes. When it comes to your vision, talk to people who've been there. They'll point you to UW Medicine Eye Institute at Harborview, like Dave Larson, whose glaucoma was caught and treated early, or Monica Lowe, who thanks to refractive surgery can finally see without glasses. People across our region trust their vision to the UW Medicine Eye Institute. UW Medicine Health System. From here, we change the world. Request an appointment and read more stories at uwmedicine.org/stories.
Welcome back to Pullman, everyone. Eric Peterson, the batter, with the bases loaded. The new pitcher into the game is Spencer Jackson. There's a fly ball hit to fairly shallow center. Coming up, Slayball making the catch. Tagging at third and coming plateward is Scott, and the Huskies get a sacrifice fly here in the top of the 9th. 1 down. It's now the Cougars 11 and the Huskies 5, or make it 6, I beg your pardon, as the run was walked in before the pitching change was made. And the Huskies now have 2 here in the top half of the 9th. Still a long way to go. Runners on first and second, now 1 down. As a sacrifice fly by Peterson to center scores Troy Scott, and that brings up Spencer Rogers, the Husky designated hitter. Spencer against Spencer. Spencer Jackson, the pitcher, the left-hander, the junior out of Aurora, Colorado. Spencer Rogers, the Husky hitter, a freshman out of Sammamish. First pitch on the way to Rogers, missing for ball 1. 11-6 as the Huskies get 2 here in the 9th. Still runners on first and second, 1 down after the sacrifice fly. Here's the 1-0, and that misses outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Rogers is 1 for 3. He singled and scored back in the 4th. Also a walk, a fly out, and a ground out. The ground out last time up in the 8th came on a great play by Trace Tam Singh in the hole at short to end the frame. Here's the stretch and the 2-0 on the way, and that one is on the outside corner. Strike 1 call. So the Huskies not going down without a fight, but you hate to see 2 runs in the 9th mean little, as we would expect. With now 1 down, this would be an immense rally of proportion for the Dogs here, down 11-6 in the 9th. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch on the way, and that's low and away. Ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike the count to Rogers. Ty Afner, the on-deck hitter. 11-6. Huskies got a bases-loaded walk to Wiggins and then a sacrifice fly from Peterson. That scored Troy Scott. And now Rogers way ahead in the count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Runners take their leads. Here's the 3-1, and that's lifted off the glove of the third baseman. Argyropoulos will have to go to the bag himself and get the runner, Anselman. Boy, that was a beautiful play by Argyropoulos to dive just to knock it down, find the ball, and get a sliding Anselman at third for the unassisted force. And there are now 2 down here in the ninth, and the Huskies down to their final out, down 11-6. So Rogers on at first by the fielder's choice. Wiggins down to second. And Anselman forced out at third as Argyropoulos knocked it down and then dove to the bag himself. Ty Afner, the Husky hitter, and the first pitch on the way is down low. 1-0. Huskies down to their final out here in the top of the ninth. They trail at 11-6. 11-15-1 for the Cougars. 6-13-0 for the Huskies. 2 on, 2 down here in the top of the ninth. 1 ball, no strikes to Afner. Here's Jackson's pitch, and that's on the inside corner. Called strike 1. 1-1, the count evens. Afner has singled each of his last 2 times up. He's 2 for 4. Huskies, despite putting 6 runs and 13 hits up, still in a big, big hole here down to their final out in the ninth. Here's a stretch by Jackson and the pitch on the way, and that's high and away, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Cougars got 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth for their 11. Huskies got 3 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth, and now 2 more here in the ninth to tally their 6th. Here's the 2-1, and that's hit foul up and out of play over the first base dugout, and the Huskies down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, top of the ninth. 2 on for the Huskies, who trail at 11-6. Cougars winning yesterday's game 5-2, trying to close out the Huskies and take game 2 of this series, and with the victory, the series itself, with just 1 game remaining tomorrow. Jackson, the left-hander, to the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch to Afner, swinging a ball fouled straight back against the screen. And Ty staying alive, the Husky sophomore shortstop. So the count stays at 2-2. Tomorrow's game right here on AM 1150 KKNW. It'll be a 12 o'clock first pitch. Husky right-handed freshman Austin Voth scheduled to start after he was marvelous in the lone victory over the weekend last weekend at Husky Ballpark against USC. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that hit Afner. We're not done just yet. Afner will head to first on a breaking ball that went way inside, and the bases are loaded yet again. Wiggins down to third, Rogers to second, and Afner hit by a pitch down at first. Now, if Gardner Young could somehow get on, then at the very minimum, the Huskies could bring the tying run to the plate in the on-deck hitter Joe Meggs. Down by 5, 11-6, bases loaded. 2 down here in the top of the ninth. And Gardner Young, the leadoff man, standing in. Here's the wind and the pitch on the way to GY. And this is popped up, foul ground outside the bag at third. Third baseman Argyropoulos is there. He makes the catch, and the ball game's over. So the Huskies get ambushed in the middle innings of this one. At one point, they trailed 4-3, but then the Cougars poured it on, and they win it with relative ease, a final of 11-6. Washington State has taken the first 2 of this weekend series in Pullman, and the Huskies, unfortunately, will have to try and avoid a sweep tomorrow beginning at noon. Pregame at 11:45. We'll take one more postgame timeout. We'll wrap it up after this and take a look at the box score. I'm not sure if that's going to be the most pleasant experience, but win or lose, you'll have to get it done. Final score, Cougars 11, Huskies 6. Postgame coming up in a moment. You're listening to Husky Baseball on IMG College.
Are you thinking that old mower of yours just won't cut it this year? Then call the pros at Aurora Lawnmower. They specialize in small gas engine repair, including tune-ups and blade sharpening. Your mower will look and act like new for a fraction of the cost. They also sell state-of-the-art equipment and new brands like Toro, Snapper, Honda, and Steel. For 40 years of unbeatable value, call 206-783-0200 or drop by. They're just 1.5 blocks north of Green Lake. Aurora Lawnmower, on the cutting edge of technology.
When my roof needed repairs, I didn't know where to turn. With so many roofing companies, how could I choose? Then a friend told me about MCR Roofing. She said they offer top-notch service at an affordable price. They use eco-friendly solutions and provide pressure washing, roof maintenance, gutter cleaning, leak repairs, and skylight installation. She also said they do general remodeling, including kitchens, bathrooms, and additions. I'm glad I chose MCR Roofing. You will be too. Find out more at badroofnomore.com.
Lewis, my last text message asked if you were getting my text, and you texted back no.
Strange times, Clark.
I sent you a link to Horizon Air and AlaskaAir.com.
As long as you're not asking to friend me.
There are all sorts of interesting things there. Can you guess how many miles you get just for signing up for the mileage plan?
7.
500.
Close.
And guess how many flights Horizon and Alaska have out of Seattle?
7.
I'll give you a hint. More than any other airline.
7.
More than 200. And how many cities Alaska and Horizon fly to nonstop from Seattle?
Not 7.
I have no idea, but I'll bet I could find it online.
You do that, and then go to iwishclarkwouldshutupnow.com.
Once I have the answer, I'll text it to you.
Text this, Clark.
Lewis?
Join the Alaska Airlines mileage plan and earn generous miles towards free worldwide travel on Alaska, Horizon, and our many mileage plan partners. Sign up today at alaskaair.com.
Well, some of the youngsters running the bases here in Pullman after this one, and the elder statesman on the field right now, taking the first 2 of this 3-game series as the homestanding Cougars take Game 2 against the Huskies, a final of 11-6. Steve Sandmeyer back with you at Bailey Brayton Field. Washington losing last night, a final of 5-2, and dropping the middle game of this 3-game series 11-6. And a stern talking to right now is Lindsey Meggs is out there with his team gathered in short right field in a pretty tight circle, and just by the looks of his body language, he is none too pleased. In fact, he's chewing on some ear cartilage right now as the Huskies with a loss fall to 3-11 in Pac-10 play. Huskies 6 runs, 13 hits, no errors, but the Cougars with 11 runs, 15 hits, and the 1 error. Washington State got on the board first. They got 2 in the bottom of the first on 3 hits. Got 2 more in the bottom of the third to make it 4-0 after 3. And while the Huskies rallied with 3 in the top of the fourth to cut it to a 4-3 deficit, it was pretty much all Washington State from that point on. Cougars got the 3 runs back in the very bottom of the fourth to make it 7-3. They got 4 more in the bottom of the fifth to make it 11-3. And while the Huskies rallied with a couple of token runs, 1 in the 6th and 2 more in the 9th, this was all Washington State today, a final of 11-6. The win goes to Chad Arnold. He wins his first game of the year. Arnold 1-3 on the year. He didn't have to do a whole lot with the offense battering the Husky pitching staff as it did, but Arnold gets the win. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, good enough to pick up the victory. Richie Ochoa, the sophomore out of Friday Harbor, 2 2/3 scoreless. Sal Arena, the converted pitcher, gave up a couple of runs off a couple of hits and a couple of walks and did not record an out. Spencer Jackson came on and pitched an inning of scoreless relief. The loss going to Husky starter Aaron West. West falls to 1-8 on the year. He went 3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 1, struck out 1. Jeff Brigham, who normally a very solid bullpen effort out of him, it just was not his day. 1 2/3, 6 hits, 7 earned runs. His ERA going from 2.62 all the way to 4.15 today. Jeff Gonzalez, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple of hits and a couple of Brigham's runs, but Zach Wright clearly the lone bright spot for the Dogs today. 2 2/3 of hitless, scoreless relief, and he struck out 5. 8 up, 8 down for Wright, and he struck out 5 of the 8 that he faced in his 8 up, 8 down appearance. So certainly Zach Wright gets player of the game honors if you're Washington. The hitting stars, 2 of them for Washington State, Patrick Clausen and Derek Jones, combined go 8 of 10 with 7 runs batted in and 6 runs scored. Clausen 4 for 5 with 5 runs batted in and 4 runs scored. His big hit was a bases clearing triple. Jones goes 4 of 5 for the Cougars with 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. As those 2 in the 2 and 3 holes of the Cougar lineup, they actually outscore Washington all by themselves 7-6. Cougars win it 11-6. Hitting stars for the Huskies, Joe Meggs continues to swing a hot bat in this series after going 3 for 4 yesterday in the loss. He goes 3 for 5 with a run batted in today. Brendan Gardner-Young, a multiple hit game. He goes 2 for 6 with a couple of runs batted in. And Ty Afner goes 2 for 4. But those are the only 3 Huskies. Oh, I beg your pardon. Jacob Lamb, 2 for 4 with a run scored. 4 Huskies in a double-digit, or I should say multiple hit efforts from the plate today. So not much to cheer about if you're a Husky fan today in Pullman, and that's the way the homestanding Cougar crowd wants it. Washington State has taken the first 2 in this Apple Cup 3-game series, last night by a final of 5-2, and this afternoon by a final of 11-6. So that wraps it up here from Bailey Brayton Field in Pullman. A sunny afternoon here, but certainly the Huskies not in a sunny disposition whatsoever, as they have dropped the first 2 in this battle of these last-place teams in the Pac-10 last night and this afternoon. Again, a programming reminder to join us tomorrow. First pitch at 12 noon, pregame at 11:45 right here from Washington State University. Steve Sandmeyer wishing you good afternoon here on a Saturday. Once again, a final score in NCAA Pac-10 baseball. The Washington State Cougars 11. The Washington Huskies 6. You've been listening to an exclusive presentation of the Washington IMG College Network.